Hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to ya all. Good to see ya. What is up, dude bro man guy, Monster CCWV House, Stone Raid Productions, Lord Boys, 0-1 by. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone had a spectacular weekend, is excited for some modern action today. Arena's down anyway, but there's a couple of modern decks that I want to try out for a while. We haven't done any storming yet, so we gotta try the new and mostly kind of budget-friendly storm deck that's all the talk of the town. And then I also found this this Eldrazi deck that I was looking around for new cards. I'm always going through the deck list. Yeah, we'll talk about the leaks in just a minute. I'm always going through the deck list trying to just find unique cards that someone played. And I came across a deck that was playing Wumpus Aberration in Modern. And I was like, okay, we might have to try this. So it's like, I guess it's mono green Eldrazi Stoppy, where you're just like, I'm going to cast a Wumpus Aberration and attack you with it. So we might play that after we storm, but we're starting by forcing Storm. Hey, what's up, G Fuel Cold? Can you put some number of Orm's Chant in your sideboard of the Storm deck? Ooh, we have a bunch of defense grids, which is trying to do that, but maybe Orm's Chant would be better. I've been working on Scepter Chant. It's coming. I'm almost there, so it's going to be coming. We will be doing some Scepter chanting. Hey, what's up, Luke? How are you? I'm doing well. Monster CC, good to see you. So leaks, I know. So we're going to talk about the leaks real quick. Sorry, WV House. I apologize. That's always happening. McKeary, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 77th month. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Lost to an Azoria self-mill deck in Standard that was trying to bring back Rakdos with Abulio's Awakening and then return Hulking Mortimer for an infinite damage. Against odds are much improved, perhaps. I thought about it. So Krim actually played that deck. I think CGB might have played it for, I don't know where it started from, maybe someone else altogether, but a couple of people already played it on YouTube, so that's why I didn't play it yet. But it is a really cool deck, so we might have to do it. It is already leak time for Burrow. We got through Assassin's Creed spoilers, and the leaks started flowing. We already have 2 different leaks. There's three cards. So if you don't want to see leaks, avert your eyes, but we got to talk about them because they're kind of exciting. They're kind of exciting Burrow cards. Spoiler season kicking off in a couple of weeks. Yoda Man, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. So avert your eyes if you don't want to see leaks, and then we'll get into Storm in a minute. So you know these leaks are real because just look at this potato camera quality. How is it possible? I need to know, chat. Some of you are way smarter than I am. I know that. How is it possible in 2024 to end up with that picture? How? It looked like someone developed it in their dark room. It looks like a photo from 100 years ago, like the 1800s, that someone is developing in their dark room and overexposed it or something. But the card itself is like ridiculous. The card, three Tree City, kind of a tongue twister. When it ETBs, you choose a creature type, and then you can tap it to add a colorless source of mana, or you can pay 2, tap it, and choose a color, and an amount of mana of that color equal to the number of creatures of the chosen type you control. It is tribal Nykthos. It is Nykthos for tribal decks. So if you're playing a deck that's all humans, or Eldrazi, or dragons, this card's absurd. This card is almost, I would say that Nykthos is the strongest land they've printed in Standard in like the last decade of Magic. Like if you go back to the 90s, there were better, or Tolarian Academy or whatever, like that era, there were better cards. In the modern era, Nykthos is one of the most busted lands that they have made. Like going back to Cabal Coffer's era, this card is so strong. Obviously, you gotta be a deck builder on one creature type, right? Like you're not gonna play this in any deck, but imagine a card that makes a bunch of tokens, like a White Sun Zenith. It makes a bunch of tokens of the same card type. This is just so incredibly good. It even comes into play untapped. So I think this card's going to be really, really good. Obviously, it doesn't go in every deck. Field of the Dead, yeah, that might be true. Is that more busted than Nykthos? I guess it's more banned than Nykthos is, although No, that's what I was trying to say. Nykthos is, I think, the strongest land of the last decade of Magic, and this looks a lot like it. I think it's a little bit worse than Nykthos, but a little bit worse than Nykthos is still incredibly strong. I think it's harder. Actually, maybe that's not even true. Is it harder to add more creatures of the same type to the battlefield than devotion symbols? That might not actually be true, but either way, like, the card seems really, really good. It's got me hyped for Burrow. The other thing we got to see in this Camera quality, not much better. We got to see Ral Planeswalker, Ral Crackling Wit. So 4 mana, 4 loyalty. Says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a loyalty counter on it. +1, make a 1/1 blue and red otter creature token with prowess. -3, draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards. -10, draw 3 cards. Then you get an emblem with instants and sorceries you cast have Storm. They have Storm. Storm is apparently back in Standard. It's on a Planeswalker ultimate, so don't get too excited. But that is a super duper fun ultimate, and it seems powerful, right? We've seen Ral that we're going to play today, like Ral in Storm in Modern, be really, really strong because it essentially gets loyalty for each spell you cast. This kind of does the same thing. You play Ral Crackling Wit, then you sling a bunch of spells, it gets a bunch of loyalty, then you ultimate it and you draw cards and all your stuff has Storm and you win the game. Yeah, seems this set is going to be so wild. It's going to be so good. Warden Bob, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tip for you. Thank you. Is it Storm in Standard would be so sweet if we actually had Storm in Standard. Then we also got kind of an easy one. Best quality picture, Parting Gust. This shows off a new mechanic, which is gift a tapped fish. Gift a fish. Who doesn't want to gift a fish? Actually, I had someone try to gift me a fish recently and I turned it down. One of my sisters won a goldfish at a carnival thing and wanted to give it to me. I said, no, I would not like your gift fish. Parting Gust. 2 mana, white instant, gift a tapped fish. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast this spell. If you do, they create a 1/1 tapped blue fish creature token before its other effects. Exile target non-token creature. If a gift wasn't promised, return the creature to the battlefield under its control with a +1/+1 counter on it. If it was promised, you just straight up exile it. So it's essentially like a gift a fish. Who wouldn't want to gift a fish? It's essentially. I know, isn't it ironic? I had a goldfish before when I was a kid and it only lasted a few days. I think I'm scarred from that. I have a lot of scarring fish stories from childhood. I think I told you when I caught a fish for the first time and then I was like a little kid and my dad was like, oh, we're gonna take it home and gut it and eat it. I was like, so we got back and it didn't connect in my little kid brain what that actually meant. And he was like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna kill the fish. And I started crying and I cried so much and annoyed him so much I made him drive back to the pond and put the fish back in the pond because I was just so upset that he was gonna kill it. So yeah, I have a lot of traumatic fish stories from childhood apparently. But Parting Gust, it seems like a pretty good removal spell, right? 2 mana, exile anything, or it can be a blink spell. So it's kind of like, oh no, I can't think of the enchantment. What's the enchantment that you can channel? I can't think of the name of it right now. That's from Kamigawa, currently in Standards. He's a Touch of the Spirit Realm. Touch of the Spirit Realm. It's kind of like a Touch of the Spirit Realm, right? It can be removal. It can be blink. You're only gifting your opponent a 1/1. So it's not actually that big of a gift you're giving them. So it seems like Commander All-Star, maybe constructed playable. The mechanic seems kind of commandery. I think it's a little commandery, but it should be fine for constructed play. We'll have to see. What we don't know from these leaks is if you always gift a fish or can you gift other things? Are there more powerful effects where you gift your opponent a bear? Do you give them a 2/2 bear? Or we'll have to wait and see. If it's always a gift of the fish, or maybe you gift your opponent in, something else. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But the land is busted. Ral seems busted. And it's storm time, I think. Do my bits not go through? Am I cursed? I love poking fun. Well, W Van House, I appreciate the bits. Hey, Seth. Made it to Diamond and nearly close to Mythic for the first time, playing new Charbelcher deck in Timeless. It's actually really fun and powerful thanks to MDFCs. Definitely recommend trying it in your free time. It's a decently good deck. I'll have to give it a shot. I've played Belcher in the past, but I haven't played it since we got the new MDFCs. Reminders before I get into the games. Replay YouTube. That's when find old streams, including this one to the future. Normal YouTube. Tons of stuff coming up on there. Lots of Modern Horizon 3 stuff. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom, who I've been thinking I need to get a new tattoo. What is the tat that you're getting, Tuka? A reminder that our sponsors Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, like Assassin's Creed cards for some reason, I don't know what you'll do with them, but they exist. You can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtdgoldfish. If we get a free goldfish sticker, well, we got a whole playset of defense grids in our sideboard. We are not getting countered, not by these silly control decks that are rising up to stop our storming fun. How about splashing green for Manamorphose so you can Gruul Storm with Thrasta? We do have Manamorphose in here. Manamorphose is here. So in theory, we could cast a Thrasta. Morning, CC and Bear and Seth. Just watch our artifacts video, good stuff. I like talking about Mad Magic cards. I don't know, I enjoy videos like that because we spend so much time talking about good cards. Everyone's always talking about like, is this card broken? Is it good? Is it too good? No one talks about the bad cards. We need to talk more about the bad cards, I think. So this deck should be fun. So this is the new, and I don't know if it's improved. Hopefully improved. We'll see how it goes. But this is Mono Red Ruby Storm. If you haven't seen this deck, it's built around Ral Monsoon Mage, and if we get the best draw, we can win on turn 2. It is actually possible to win on turn 2 with this deck. I need to get a tattoo. It's been a long time since I've got a tattoo. I need a magic tattoo. I really do. I just still don't know what magic tattoo to get. It needs to be a magic tattoo that's not weird to non-magic players, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want something that's like super fantasy, obviously magic, that I'm gonna have to explain to people who don't know what magic is, but I want something that like looks cool, like a cool tattoo, but also if you know magic, you're gonna be like, oh, that's super cool, you got this, whatever, a tattoo, whatever magic thing. I only have one tattoo, and it's I don't know if I've ever told the tattoo story. It's really, oh my goodness. So this was a long time ago. This is the only tattoo I have so far. I got this like when I want to say like 18 or 19. I don't know how well you can see it, but so I decided I was gonna get a tattoo, and I didn't really do much research on it. I was just like, I want to get a tattoo, so I went to this tattoo shop. The guy that did the tattoo shop, his name was Tattoo Larry, and he was like this biker tattoo artist, and all I remember about going in to get the tattoo is his tattoo shop was filled with pictures of piercings and tattoos of people's private parts, essentially. It was just not what I was expecting. This big biker dude with tons of like very R-rated tattoo and piercing pictures covering his shop. And then I learned later, I don't know if he like learned to tattoo in prison or something. The tattoo itself is like not actually, like, it's okay, and it reminds me of that time, which I like about it, but the tattoo itself is not like especially awesome or pretty or well done. Now I know people who do much better tattoos, so the next tattoo I get will be way better than the first one. Blood Moon would be a good one. That's the best option I think that I have so far. I think like Blood Moon tattoo, it looks cool. Non-magic players will be like, oh, it's like a moon or whatever. Plus magic players will immediately recognize it. No Flage in the sideboard of this one. One of my favorite quotes from One Piece: I don't want to live 1,000 years, I just want to live through today. That'll be enough. Will probably be character crews, Jolly Rogers underneath it. Yeah, it is a good one. I've never watched One Piece, but anyway. I couldn't make out with the tattoo. So it was a piece of art from, I'll have to take a picture of it. It's a piece of art from a friend at the time's record album, from a band, like record album. It's kind of abstract, but that's what it's based on. But it didn't turn out like, I don't know, it's 20 years ago and it doesn't look that good. So I need a new one. Anyway, all right, so what are we trying to do with this deck? The deck's really simple. Let's jump into our league and we can talk more about tattoos and other wonderful things as we go along. So, what are we trying to do with this deck? The core of this deck is Ral and Ruby Medallion that reduce the cost on all the spells in our deck. So what we really want to do, play a Ral, play a Ruby Medallion, then we can use rituals like Pyretic Ritual and Desperate Ritual to make a bunch of mana, then we cast a bunch of Ren's Resolves and Reckless Impulses to impulse draw a bunch of cards. Hopefully we chain together enough spells that we either flip Ral, Ultimate Ral, cast a bunch of stuff from our deck and win that way, or we fill our graveyard, Past in Flames, recast our graveyard, eventually to win the game. We wish to grab something like Grape Shot or empty the Warrens from our sideboard. We can grab an Alchemist Gambit to take an extra turn and cast all of our impulse draw effects and win the following turn. So that's essentially the plan of the deck. The challenge of the deck is that Control is back in Modern. People love playing Control now, and Control is really good against our deck. So we have 4 defense grids in our sideboard. Defense grids is hopefully how we beat counter spells. Just during your turn, your opponent's spells cost 3 more to cast. So it's going to be very hard for our opponent to have enough mana to counter stuff if we get a defense grid down. Otherwise, Static Prison gets rid of any hate pieces, and then we just have combo pieces that we're going to be grabbing with the Wish, like another Past in Flames, Empty the Warrens of Grape Shot to win the game, Galvanic Relay for more card draw, extra turn spell in Alchemist Gambit, or Shattering Spree to get rid of artifacts. So that's a deck. We're storming, we're casting a spell. Yeah, Storm is actually back, and it's actually really good. I'm like surprised how good Control is at the moment. There's a new artifact that shuts down free spells. Vexing Bauble, that's true, but we don't actually have free spells. We are spending mana on our spells. Our spells are just, if you look at our deck list, our stuff is mostly going to be, so the trick is not that our stuff becomes free. The trick is that our rituals make 2 mana instead of 1 mana. Essentially, if we have a Ral out, Desperate Ritual becomes Dark Ritual, Pyretic Ritual becomes Dark Ritual, Manamorphose actually generates a mana, all of our Impulse Draw costs 1 mana, so we don't actually get wrecked by Vexing Bauble, thankfully. 61 cards. We gotta have that extra wish. The 61 card special. We're crimming today. This list, so this isn't a list I build. Like, this is just a list that I found. The person's name is on the deck list, but it's someone who played it in a challenge on Magic Online. I built one at one point, but they all basically look the same anyway. Like, maybe a few sideboard slots are different, but there's really, like, the Storm deck is the Storm deck. There's not a whole lot to change from it. Don't you lose to Trinisphere? I mean, we have to kill it, but yeah, like Trinisphere. Trinisphere is very good against us. Hopefully we don't get Trinisphered. Trinisphere is almost unbeatable. I've been on the other side. I've been playing some Trinisphere lately. In Trinisphere against Ruby Storm, you feel like you can't lose. What do you think Ruby Storm's odds are against Green-White Boggles? If I was playing for my life, I would take Ruby Storm every time in that matchup. I don't think Boggles is fast enough. I think the upside of Boggles is a really resilient, or traditionally at least, they're very resilient because they all got hexproof. They're hard to deal with, but they went on like turn 4 maybe is probably like an average Boggles skill. I think Storm not going to try to interact with you anyway, and it's probably going to win on turn 3. So I think Storm would win more often just because. And it doesn't really care about you gaining life. Like, if you gain some life with your Boggles, giving you a lifelink or whatever, Storm's just going to cast a few more spells and actually be able to get it that way. Yeah, that's the issue. I think Boggle's more resilient, but Storm just so much faster. Need your thoughts on brainstorming what the other Titan wizards could add to future sets. Flage is awesome, so was thinking, would 2 mana white and a blue Titan that has flash and red, when this creature ETBs, exile up to 1 target creature. If your opponent controlled it, they gain life equal to its power. If you control it, return to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. And as a Titan's escape ability, would that be too good or not good enough? Well, let me think about this. So it would be 2 white and blue. So 4 total mana. 4 total mana, Swords to Plowshares, or blink something, and it has flash. That would probably be broken, right? I think that would be good. I'm trying to think. So 4 mana is 1 more mana. So I would say if you're trying to design Titans, I think people would be upset at you if you print a Titan that is not the same mana value. I think you really want to find a way to make it be 3 mana, because that's just like traditionally the mana value, right? So I think that's one thing I would say is you gotta find some way to make it be 3 mana. Oh, 2 mana? No, oh wait, was that what you're saying? 2 mana? Oh god. Oh, that card would be, I think, too good. At 4 mana, I was thinking it might be okay. At 2 mana, that card is, I think, absurd. If it's 2 mana blink your Swords to Plowshares with Path, and you get a 6/6 body out of it, I think that would be probably. Oh no, no! If they name, oh my god, if they name Scalding Tarn, are they gonna name a fetch land? If they name a fetch land, are we just wrecked? We do have a Scalding Tarn in hand. That is a aggressive Pithing Needle. Are we getting stream sniped? Is it possible? All right, leave the ritual on top. Opponent, come on, don't name our fetch. Hopefully they think we're Burrow's Energy and name something random because of the Poller. The Poller doesn't necessarily mean your Storm. It probably means Energy, right? More than Storm. Opponent, that's a tough Pithing Needle choice. Oh! They named it fetch, but they somehow managed to not name either of the two fetches in our hand. That was fortunate. I don't even know if we have Arid Mason in our deck. I think we did trick them into thinking we were the energy deck. Well, we will get down a Ruby Medallion and we'll pass the turn. And next turn, we are off to the races. Any chances we play some Trod? It looks like there's some new lists with Ugin's Labyrinth. Also, new builds seem drastically different than old Trod. I mean, we can play some Tron. Opponent says, dang, guessed wrong. Indeed. Opponent. What? What is happening? Tamiyo meets this is a card? Tamiyo meets the Story Circle. I didn't remember this card existed. Lore counter 1 until your next turn. Whenever a creature attacks with -2/-0, discarding number of cards, investigate twice, shuffle. What is her opponent doing? What are they doing? Hello from New York, CypherX. Good to see you. Well, I think I don't know what our opponent's up to, but I think we're just going to win the game, probably. Unless they have a free counter we don't know about. Bloodstainmire, correct? Bloodstainmire. We're playing maybe a different format than our opponent. So we will play a Ral. We will play a Pyretic Ritual. So spell number 1. We got to make sure that we don't flip Ral until we can ultimate. So spell number 1, spell number 2, Metamorphose, trigger, red, heads. Oh man, lost the flip again. Okay. Or maybe we just die to this Ral. That's also possible. Red and red. Well, Desperate Ritual, spell number 3, heads. Okay, we won that one. No flipping. Reckless Impulse, up to 6 mana. Spell number 4, heads. Okay, take some damage. Draw. Ooh, Glimpse. That's very good. Glimpse. Spell number. We win. This is a turn 3 win. Heads. Lose the flip. We're really bad at flipping coins, though. Oh, that's a wish. Oh, this game's so over. Strike it rich. For free. Heads. We won the flip, but we're not going to flip yet. Make a treasure. This deck is so busted. Our opponent played a Tamiyo meets someone, the Story Circle, and we won the game. We're kind of in a different world than our opponent here. Metamorphose, Mega Mana, Ral, heads. Okay, now we've cast enough to flip it, right? Well, we'll wait. We're gonna cast some more spells. Metamorphose, red. Always red. Desperate Ritual. Okay, now we'll flip Ral if we get the chance. Heads. All right, let's flip Ral. Let's ultimate Ral. I mean, this gotta be game, right? This has gotta be game. We get to Ren's Resolve. Because now all we need to do is wish for... We just need to wish for the Past in Flames, right? So we wish for Past in Flames. We Past in Flames. We recast the graveyard. We recast the wish. We get the Grape Shot. And that should be it. Strike it rich. Flash it back. Make a treasure. Pyretic Ritual. Flash you back. Desperate Ritual. Flash you back. Metamorphose. Flash you back. 10 mana floating. Storm count at 19. What's our opponent at? 18? That means we can win the game right now, right? Make some mana. Cast another wish. Wish for perhaps a Grape Shot. And Grape Shot you. Turn 3. Hey, what's up, G Few Gold? Are we not in stream mode? Oh, and opponent scoops it up, and that was what Storm does. Wow. Oh, okay, once we get back in the game, we'll get in stream. There is a Storm counter. There we go. Stream mode achieved. Yeah, so the question is, so this weekend, chat, I'm sure you probably know this. Hey, thank you, W. Van House. So this weekend's a Pro Tour. Are you going to watch the Pro Tour? Does anyone care about Pro Tours anymore? Show of hands, chat. How many of you are going to take your beautiful summer weekend, the weekend before the 4th of July holiday, when you're going to be out doing whatever, going to the beach? How many of you are going to stay inside and watch Modern Pro Tour? I'm so hyped for it. I'm very excited. This is the most excited I've been about a Pro Tour in a while. Like, seriously, in a long time. It's modern. It's fresh modern. Do we bring in the defense grids? Like, do you think our opponents at counter deck? It'll be at twitch.tv/magic. I think it's also on their YouTube, I'm pretty sure. Oh, gonna do a watch party? Oh, that's super fun. It's always fun to watch, yeah, with people. Never watched a Pro Tour. The results excite me, though. I'm really excited for it because we're gonna have like all the new Modern Horizons 3 stuff. Like, the format right now is just so different than it. What, like, the set, I know people always meme about Commander Masters or Commander Horizons, and there are Commander cards in it, but if you look at the metagame, like, it's so much different than it was. The top decks, Jeskai control with energy stuff, Ruby Storm, Burrow's energy, Tron, Nadu, Through the Breach, Murktide, like Tamiyo. It's so different than it was a month ago. Really excited to see. I think it's going to be broken. I think there's Nadu maybe, Storm maybe, something's going to be broken at this event. Variant, and also Timmy Cheng's Weg. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super Jeffrey, thank you. Yeah, it'd be really cool to see if do we bring in defense grids? Do you think I don't know what to read into what our opponent's doing. They played 2 lands in a saga that I've never seen anyone play before. Also, yeah, if you're in the EU, are you going to the Magic Con? A lot of the gold. So Phil and Tomer and Niatuk, who does like editing and helps with stuff, has been on the stream a few times. They're all going to be at MagicCon Amsterdam. So if you happen to be in going to MagicCon, say hello to the rest of the Goldfish crew. I don't think any of the US crew. I'm not going. Crim's not going. Richard's not going. But the EU guys will be there. Yeah, I gotta watch the presidential debate too. I think on Thursday. Just to see what happens. Ronald Grinder, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Have you seen the interaction with the new Ulamog and Indomitable Creativity? It sees itself in exile and gains Annihilator 10. Ooh, I did not know that. I have not seen that. Oh, do we keep this? We only have 1 land. But this hand's, yeah, we're just gonna mulligan it. It's too risky. All right, this one we'll keep. We'll put a Strike It Rich to the bottom. We got the defense grid. Opponent has a haywire, mate. The presidential debate should be interesting. It's not fully turn 2, right? Like, we only have 1 ritual. You really need 2 rituals to be able to turn 2, because you need to, well, also really helps if you have Ral instead of Ruby Medallion, but you need to ritual into the Ruby Medallion into a ritual, so then you can cast more spells. That's like the easiest way to turn 2. Crazy Goalie, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super Jeffrey, thank you. Okay, Tamiyo meets the story circle. It's back. White-black Titan, 3 mana. When the creature enters the battlefield or attacks, return up to 1 target permanent mana value 4 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If a creature entered this way, enters with a +1/+1 counter. I think something like that actually is pretty realistic. Kind of like an upgraded Sun Titan that works in Orzhov because both black and white can reanimate stuff. I think that's like the right color combination for it. That actually seems like a pretty realistic design to me. Ooh. Oh boy. Well, okay. Sure. I mean, we're not going to say no to Pyretic Ritual. I don't know if we actually can win this turn, though. Oh boy. Do we even try it? Oh, it'd be so risky. So, okay, so here's what we play: the Sacred Foundry untapped. So we could Ritual Ruby Medallion, 1 mana left over, Ritual, up to 3 mana, Ren's Resolve, and then we basically have to hit another Ritual. You think we should go for it? Do you think we go for it? Oh, breaking is, I mean, we came here to try a storm, right? You know what? We're not gonna play afraid. If we lose, we lose. Actually, I think the safest play is defense grid pass and then try to go next turn. But the more fun play is to go for it. So Pyretic Ritual, Ruby Medallion. It's all gonna come down to this Ren's Resolve hitting something good. Pyretic Ritual, Ren's Resolve, into Ren's Resolve, into Reckless Impulse, and pass. All right. Well, that was pretty bad, really bad. Oh boy. I think that was some bad running. Maybe we should have just waited another turn. I'm going to be trying out Pioneer this Friday with this deck list. Is there anything I should change in my sideboard, or are the ideas you think would work well in the deck? Let me take a look, Mother Frogger. I did not see your green-white Titan W Man House. Ooh, Paradox Engine combo, eh? Paradox Engine, I remember this from Standard, playing something that was very similar to this. Play the Psy, tap your Heated Archive. Really fun deck to play when it pops off. I might consider like an Iron Crag or 2. It's legendary, so I don't think you want 4 of them, but I think that's the only 2 mana rock, real mana rock in Pioneer. So I might try to sneak one of those in. I also, I'm a little worried about the Moonsnare prototype Springleaf Drum plan. Do we have enough creatures? Like, prototype makes sense because you can tap artifacts. Springleaf Drum, you need a creature. I might consider something like that, but overall, like, I like the plan of the deck. I remember playing decks like this, and they're so fun when they pop off. Opponent goes to combat. Hits us. I imagine they're going to blow up our Ruby Medallion, unfortunately. And then we're left in a... Okay, what? What is this deck? Well, now we see why they're playing Tamiyo. Opponent brought the spice. They brought the spice. Tamiyo meets the story circle to make a bunch of clues to go with Academy Manufacturer. I don't know where all this is heading, but an opponent gonna Haywire Might, blow up our Medallion. Yeah, our card draw last turn was so bad for us. There's a Ren's Resolve. Well, I mean, I guess we have to Scalding Tarn, crack Scalding Tarn, grab a Mountain, play another Ruby Medallion, play Ren's Resolve, pass the turn. Next turn, maybe. We'll see if we're alive. Our opponent's untapping with an Academy Manufacturer and a ton of clues. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? How are you? If green, white, blue, white, black Titan comes out, like any I described, I have the stream as proof that I gave the idea. That is true. I think, what is the old school way of doing that? You're supposed to take in, if you have an idea, I think you're supposed to mail it to yourself or something. And then you'd have proof. You'd have proof that with a date on it, thanks to the post office, of when your idea was from. Opponent is playing a Spicy Brew. I don't know what their deck is really trying to do, though. Opponent gets in for 1. The beatdown's on. And passes. Storm count at 1. We draw Wish. Well. Can we need a ritual. That's what we really need. Let's Manamorphose. Red and red. Well, we need to play the Ral, so play the Ral. Strike it rich. Tails never fails, except for now. And then strike it rich. Tails never fails. Okay, we won the flip. No. So we can wish for 1 mana. I don't know if there's anything we can wish into, though. Heads. We won the flip. No transform. Wish for... Oh, wait. Oh, we have Glimpse the Impossible. Oh! Oh, no! Oh, this is so tough. This is so tough. How do we do this? So we can't pass in flames and cast anything from the graveyard. We have a new donation from Nershimp-Mans, please. $10 donation. Hey, Seth. My sister and I recently got back into Magic after a few years, and we both absolutely devour all the content, you and the rest of the Goldfish crew. Thanks to you and all the other fishes for the great content. Well, Nershimp-Mans, please, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Thank you so much for the donation, and welcome back into Magic. Good to have you back. Okay, so here's the options. There's 2 options here. 3 options that I can see that are realistic. One is we say, we're going to play defensive. We're going to get the Shattering Spree, blow up Manufacturer, blow up the Underworld Cookbook. That's one option. Option 2 is we get this Glimpse the Impossible. We draw 3 cards, hope to hit a ritual, and we get to keep going, and we try to win this turn. That's an option. There's also a Galvanic Relay option where we cast this and try to win next turn by drawing even more cards for next turn. I guess could also be an Alchemist Gambit option here where we take an extra turn, but that's better if we have a bunch of stuff in exile from Impulse Draw. How many rituals? 1, 2. We've used 2 rituals. 1 mana more. You know what? Let's just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? We'll take the Glimpse. We'll play the Glimpse. We need to hit a ritual here, please, Magic Gods. Row. If we can get to flipping the Row, that's also good. Wait, oh no. So one thing I don't know is how many instants or sorceries we cast this turn. Not enough, right? Because Row was one of our spells. So I don't think we can flip yet. I think we're 1 short. Come on, Glimpse. Come on, Glimpse. Come on, Glimpse. Ooh. Okay. Play the land. That's good. Strike it rich. We might get to flip this Row. We might get to flip this Row. Heads. We lost the flip. Are we good to flip yet, chat? Are we good to do it? Like, if we win a flip, can we actually ultimate Row? That's the question. Strike it rich. Row. Heads. Lost the flip. Oh, God. Okay. Or maybe we just lose all the flips. That's also a possibility. Reckless Impulse. Draw 2. Heads. Lost the flip. 3 in a row. Oh, no. Okay, Reckless Impulse. Okay, Manamorphose. We need to win one of these dang flips. It's been 3 in a row. Heads. Oh, God, lost the flip. No. Not like this. Okay, Ren's Resolve. It can't be 5 in a row. There's no way. I'm going to have to pull the calculator. Finally, won the flip. It took 5, but we got there. Yes. Flip it. 12 loyalty. Ren's Resolve. Valakut Awakening and Wish. Well, let's exile the top 8 cards of our library. Cast them this turn if they're instants or sorceries. For free. So Pyretic Ritual for free. Can you splice from exile? I don't think you can splice from exile. And about it! Scoops it up. So only as the instant and sorcery count. So we have storm count here, but that doesn't necessarily mean every spell we cast was an instant or sorcery, because it could be Rowler or Ruby Medallion in there. So the numbers don't line up exactly. Well, that is that is the storm deck. Our opponent was doing something. Yeah, I know. I'm waiting to get a replacement audio box. It's something to do with my audio box. Like, I don't know why it does it sometimes. It just like, I don't know enough about it to be able to know why, so I'm getting a new one. But it just like, every few hours, it cuts out like that, just like for a minute, and then it'll cut back in, but I don't know why it does it. No, I'm sorry. It might do it one more time during the stream. It usually doesn't do it that often, but yeah, Ruby Storm is a pretty sweet name. Seth, you're very knowledgeable about the going rate of common effects and things in Magic, like removal card draw ramp, certain stat line creatures and stuff. Do you think there's any value in a video for nerds like me about the current and or historic resource cost trends for common effects in Magic that inform you of a player as a player of a card's playability? Ooh, okay, so if I'm understanding this right, I like where you're going with this, Cat Camp fan. So I'm imagining like drawing 3 cards. Whatever. Now a good rate for drawing 3 cards is 3 mana. In the past, it would have been 4 mana, but then there's some rare weird instances where you could kind of do it for 2 mana, stuff like that. I think that could actually be a really interesting... I could be a really interesting video. Lord Kinnabut and nobody in particular, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. Yeah, I do. I like that idea, Cat Cam fan. Yeah, I think that could be... I enjoy stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to mulligan. We don't have a payoff. Well, there's a Ral. So we'll keep the Ral. What are we putting to the bottom? Maybe Valakut Awakening? Yeah, let's put Valakut Awakening to the bottom. All right. We will see what our opponent's up to. Hey, what's up, Ekchun? How are you? Good to see ya. Hey, thank you, Dido Knight. I appreciate the kind words. Ooh, this Friday, I'm going out to a show, going to see Trampled by Turtles. I feel like none of you will know Trampled by Turtles. Anyone? Maybe if you're from, like, Minnesota. Going to see Trampled by Turtles, which I'm excited about. And then they're with Shaky Graves. I don't really know Shaky Graves. I don't know if I care about Shaky Graves, but... opponent gets in with the Goblin Guide, gives us a free land. Yeah, they're from Minnesota, right? Wall of Chaos for the 90th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop, thank you. Round number 2. I think we go Graveyard, because if we draw a Ritual here... well, we need card draw too, don't we? We draw Ren's Resolve. So I think what we do is we play Scalding Tarn, we crack Scalding Tarn, we grab a Mountain, and we just play a Ruby Medallion, since it's less likely to die to a Lightning Bolt, pass the turn, and then next turn might just be party time. About it. Yeah, I'm excited. I've actually never seen Trampled by Turtles, but... are you going to be playing Assassin's Creed Commander Clash? Yes, there is an Assassin's Creed Commander Clash coming up. I got to play the trampoline, Capeline, whatever the colorless mill thing is. That's what I'm gonna play. Found it. Hits us. Top card. Strike it rich. All right. Found it. Down to 12. Passes. So okay, we just need to win the game this turn. It should be fine. No biggie. So let's play the Mountain. Let's play a Strike It Rich. Make a Treasure. Play a Desperate Ritual. Make some mana. Play Ren's Resolve into Desperate Ritual. Into... Past in Flames into Desperate Ritual, Sorcery. We do need to flip this Ral somehow. How do we flip this Ral without getting lightning bolted? Yeah, someone is playing Azeo, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know if I like them making emblems on non-planeswalkers. I've always been someone who wished they would add emblem removal anyway. Because I just think you should be able to interact with everything. So I didn't even like it on... Ooh. Well, strike it rich. I guess this is the window to play the Row. Glimpse for 1. All right, there's the bolt. Sure. Heads. Taking extra damage. Come on, Glimpse. Okay, that might work. That might maybe work. So we can... Ruby Medallion. Do we even Ruby Medallion? Yeah, let's Ruby Medallion. Pyretic Ritual. So Wish is 1 mana. So we could play this. Yeah, let's Past in Flames. Into Pyretic Ritual. Strike it rich. Glimpse. Desperate Ritual. Wish. Grape Shot. Game. Da-da-da! Busted! Busted! Oh, you wish real good. What about just wishing for Grape Shot and winning this turn? I will say this deck fun to watch. It's actually super fun to play because you're like putting together this puzzle and you're just doing so many things. I will also say, I did miss yours. I'm so sorry, Stone Rain. I think I did miss your stub. Stone Rain for the 34th month. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer, thank you. And if I missed you, Lord Cabody and nobody in particular, welcome you as well. Big soup cheer for you. WV House with the Golgari Titan that is 1 green-black, and when this Titan ETBs attacks mills 3 and then return a creature land from graveyard to hand, be too similar to Burrow, or would it be too powerful? Sorry, I really like Titan design, want more in the future. No, that's probably fine. If it's going back to your hand, I think that's fine. I think it's decent. Classico! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. So to even change anything against Burn, they could have heat cards. Maybe we bring in some static prisons. It is possible that they have hate cards of some kind. I could see that. Maybe something like that. Let's try 2 static prisons. Just subbed with Twitch Prime and nothing came up. Give it a minute, Raging Goblin. Sometimes I've noticed with subs on Twitch that they show up like 3 minutes later or 5 minutes. There's this weird delay sometimes where it still works. It just takes a minute. But just in case it doesn't pop up, welcome back to the Fishbowl, the Raging Goblin. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. I think we got a mulligan that. Not enough. Ooh. Wow, that's a lot of rituals. That is a whole heap of rituals. We got to try this. This hand's exciting. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's exciting. We only have 1 land. We are in the draw. We can surveil and then just ritual, glimpse, pray. Bone it. Sunbay Canyon. Show us a land. Goblin Guide. No, it's a glimpse. Well, Elegant Pala. That's a land. Keep it on top. Pass the turn. Well, do we win? What do you think? Do we win on turn 2? Do we win the game next turn on turn 2 without a Row, without a Ruby Medallion? Is it possible? Found it. Lots of pain in the mana base. Yeah, Storm. I think Storm might do very well at the Pro Tour this weekend. I don't know. What do you think about emblems on non-planeswalkers? Yeah, we are going to have to get kind of lucky, right? It would be much easier if we had a Row. If we draw a Row or Ruby Medallion, I think our odds of winning are incredibly high. Assuming our opponent doesn't have a hate card here. All right, Lava Spike, sure. And blue mana. What? Lava Spike. All right, down to 10. We might just have to... Come on, Row. Wooded Foothills. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, do we have to go for it? Do we have to go for it, or can we wait a turn? That's the question. Opponent has 3 cards in hand next turn. They just Lava Spiked us twice. So we're at 10. 9, 8, 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We could be dead. We could be dead. Oh. That's true. We can make a chump blocker, right? So what about, okay, is there any argument? How about this line? This line might be way worse. Is there any argument to just Ritual Glimpse, make 3 Scions, and not emptying our hand of rituals? I mean, the way, so couldn't we be dead if, so they hit us, we're at 9, 8, 7. They draw for the turn. I guess they'd need a 4 damage burn spell, which is unlikely. They could make it so we can't crack the fetch land. Well, I think, how would we actually die? Let's think about this. How do we actually die to burn from 9? Or from 7, thanks to the Goblin Guide? Like, maybe we can't, like, I'm trying to think of what the spell is that kills us, and I'm having a hard time. Well, so I guess here's the risk. They play a Eidolon of Great Revels. That would beat us. I don't think they, I guess Boros Charm, land Boros Charm Lightning Bolt, that would be 7. So that would be the way they could kill us, right? Boros Charm Lightning Bolt. Or if they play Eidolon, then we can't combo. You know, we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it, at least a little bit. Pyretic Ritual. Pyretic Ritual. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. That's what we came here to do. Pyretic Ritual. And also Desperate Ritual. And also Glimpse the Impossible. And, my God, 2 more rituals. How about a Desperate Ritual? How about a Desperate Ritual? How about a Glimpse the Impossible? Well, yeah, here you go. We drew every ritual. We drew every ritual and nothing else. Okay, that didn't go exactly how we planned. Now we really need a Pyretic Ritual on top. Come on now. Come on now. We really need a Past in Flames to cast all these cards from our graveyard. Opponent gets in, hits us. Well, okay, so we would have been dead anyway. Like, that, I mean, that was a risk, right? That they play Eidolon. Yeah, I think we can. Can we scoop? Yeah, we'll pass. We'll pass. That was pretty awkward running to just. The rituals are good, but they're way less good without a Ra. When they're only making 1 mana, they're way less impactful. Opponent combat. Attacks. What's the top card? Oh, it is a Static Prison. So in theory, that could get rid of the Eidolon. Stay at 9. Opponent passes. I mean, most likely we're just dead, but, well, there's a Static Prison. Get rid of the Eidolon. Yeah, Eidolon is one of the best, single best cards in the entire format against their deck. Well, Static Prison. Snipe the Eidolon. I imagine we're dead, though. Our opponent's not playing lands, and they have 3 cards in hand. I don't know why we're not dead already. Opponent. Yeah, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered. If we didn't go for it and they played Eidolon, it's not like we would have been able to cast all those cards anyway. Oh, and they had the Boros Charm? All right. Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. Lady Keela, thank you for the raid. Hopefully you had a wonderful stream. Why no Flame Slash? I mean, Static Prison, I think, is just better, essentially. Like, so Static Prison does what Flame Slash does, while also answering things that Flame Slash doesn't. So I think that's just like the best option for it now. Ooh. All right. We'll give it a go. No ritual, unfortunately, but we do have a static prison, which is nice. We can static prison to answer an Eidolon. We have the wish. We have the Ral. We just need some rituals. We need some rituals. Yeah, that's the upside of static prison, right? Not only does it get Eidolon, but it can get like a rule of law, name a hate card, and it can answer it, at least temporarily. Well, we don't need another land. To the graveyard with you. Velikut Awakening. Is it worth playing Ral? I'm not even sure it is. We can't cast anything with it. We need a ritual first. Let's just Scalding Tarn, thin the deck. Pass the turn. Yeah, thank you for the raid. Definitely appreciate it. About it. Well, okay, there's the Eidolon. Hooray. So now we need to answer that. Well, there's a Ren's Resolve. So I think we just static prison, get rid of the Eidolon, play Sokenzan and Ren's Resolve. Okay, there's a ritual. All right, if our opponent doesn't have another Eidolon, we're probably off to the races next turn. Opponent land. And passing. Wish. Well, we will pay our energy. Keep it around. So, play the mountain. Play the Ral. Play the Desperate Ritual. Opponent's going to bolt the Ral. Unfortunate, but fair. Oh, take a damage off the Ral. This damage is adding up. Ren's Resolve. Well, let's Manamorphose. Actually, is it even worth Manamorphosing here? Do we just wait? It's so much worse without... Well, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. We get in another card draw effect. Let's Manamorphose. It is hard to combo without a Ral or a Ruby Medallion. And by hard, it seems like it might just be impossible. Oh. Well, okay. Pass the turn. Down to 12. We might just be getting burnt out. Are you going to do a challenge to win free real life packs on Arena Stream? Yeah, what do you think of that event? I was reading the fine print and it was actually kind of funny. It's cool that there's a way you can win real packs on Arena. I think that's neat. So I do like that. I was reading their fine print though, and it was like they give you a booster box if you win, but it also says Wizards reserves the right to not give you the booster pack and instead give you $250, which is like 2 booster packs. So I think it's almost better if you don't win. Boy, this is unfortunate. Well, static prison. I think we're going to be just short. Static prison, hit the Eidolon. Get it out of here. Play the land. Play the land. Pass the turn. We gotta stay alive somehow, and I don't think we can. If we get to untap, we can try to pass in flames, maybe. Yeah, that's the plan. Opponent, we're gonna crack. Oh, come on. Hold. Yeah, we're gonna Velikut Awakening to get some new cards. If we're alive. We need to stay alive, though. 6 is 2 bolts, which is very easy for Burn to do. Boros Charm. Yup. Well, Valakut Awakening. There's no way we can win. We can see if we would have won. So if we put the wishes to the bottom, yes, we would have won. Well, not quite fast enough. Do we not want a ruby in the board to wish for? So wish is mostly for the finishers. The problem with trying to wish for a ruby is you need 5 mana, which is just so much, right? Like if you're gonna ritual to get up to 5 mana and then wish in ruby, you've spent so much of your combo like juice that it's not really worth it. Why don't people play the new energy wheel in modern? I don't know. I guess this deck could probably play it, right? I think one of the upsides of the new mono red storm deck is there's a lot of things that punish you for drawing cards. Like Orcish Bowmaster, Sheoldred. So one of the cool things about this deck is it like essentially draws a ridiculous amount of cards, but it doesn't technically draw any cards. So I think the biggest problem with Wheel of Potential is just the idea of like, Wheel of Potential draw 7 is so risky when someone could flash in a Orcish Bowmasters anytime. Good old burn. Doing good old burn things. This hand's a little land heavy, but we got the Medallion and a Ritual and a Reckless Impulse, which I think is enough to try it. The wheel works as intended. Wizards has ruled on that. They also did say that their wording might not have been absolutely correct. A rack of ads. Welcome to the Fishbowl. First time sub, thank you for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. Oh my. So my younger sister, I have a lot of people in my family, but my younger sister just got a new puppy this weekend, like a little 8-week-old puppy, and now I really kind of want to get a puppy again. I don't know. The puppies are just so cute. I mean, Bear, I love Bear. He's also cute, but he's not really a puppy. There's something about those little puppies. It's like it's like a little one. It's a golden doodle. Is that what it is? I think it's a golden doodle. Whatever the golden retriever mixed with a doodle is. But it is pretty sweet. Puppy fever indeed. Opponent, more. What is our opponent doing? More Ornithopters. Gets in with the Haywire Mite. We have played some people playing weird artifact decks. I will say that. Opponent. Oh, this has to be like Scales? It's got to be Scales. Emery. This Haywire Mite is a bit of an issue. Slink into Stupor, Spire of Industries, Memnite. Well, crack this. Grab a Poller. Second Ruby Medallion. How do we navigate through this? Golden Doodle, that sounds right. Yeah, I don't know much about the designer dog breeds, but the puppy's cute. So how do we keep the Ruby Medallion? So we play the Ruby Medallion. Our opponent's gonna Haywire Mite it, and then they can Emery it, recast it, Haywire Mite it. I think we do. I think we keep it. It's going to eat away our opponent's mana and their turn and their Urza Saga. And then we can still... Well, okay, here we go. 1-2. Pyretic Ritual. Ruby Medallion. Pyretic Ritual. Reckless Impulse. And Strike It Rich. And... Fizzle. All right. Well, all right. Little fizzle there. Just a little fizzle. Hey, Seth, ended up building a Juggernaut Peddler humans control deck in Timeless. It's working shockingly well. Mind checking out the list and giving me your thoughts? Yeah, send me the list of Rack of Hats. I'd love to see it. So the good news about this is we do have a backup Ruby Medallion. Because you gotta think our opponent's gonna Haywire Might the one on the battlefield. That seems kind of obvious. We really need a draw of some kind this turn. We need a draw. Something that generates card advantage, maybe. Opponent gets in with the Haywire Might. Hits us. Down to 17. And Haywire Might to get rid of the Medallion. And then Emery to get back the Haywire Might. Oh, that's not good for us. That's not good for us at all. Yeah, out of all the alchemy cards, Juggernaut Peddler is one of the ones that offends me the least, I would say. Like, it's kind of like an existing card, right? It's like an alchemy version of a bat, like a Deep Cavern bat or Kite Sail Freebooter, like that style of oh, another not very helpful land. Well, Sacred Foundry untapped. This is looking real bad. Strike it rich. And pass the turn. I think get Graveyard Hate off this Urza Saga. What are your thoughts on MH3? Do you think this is the best Modern Horizons set ever? Do you like the impact it's having on other formats? So, do I think it's the best Modern Horizons set ever? There's a Graveyard Hate. That's also bad. Oh no, Storm. I think that Storm's... I said this from the beginning with the Storm deck. I think that Storm was the best deck in the format, like the day that Modern Horizons 3 released. And I think it's just been slowly getting worse and worse as people are packing more and more hate for it. Yeah, Tide Hollow Scholar might be the best example, actually, of Juggernaut Peddler. So I think that's part of it, right? Like, the hate just keeps piling up and piling up. So now you're facing a lot more Graveyard Hate. You're facing a lot more, like, Staxy style hate. So it's going to be interesting to see. That's the true test of the deck, right? Storm, when no one knows that Storm is possible, is going to be busted. Like, it's so easy. But Storm, when everyone is focusing on it as one of the best decks in the format, that's another question. So it'll be interesting to see if this deck's actually, like, good at the Pro Tour, or if it remains good, or if this is kind of a flashing in the pan first week of the format style deck. It's definitely sweet when it pops. Like, it has the ability to pop off incredibly quickly, but it also can just, like, fizzle, which we've seen both, right? We've seen really fast wins, and we've seen just, like, dump your hand, cast a bunch of rituals, fizzle, nothing happens. I will put up the deck list as soon as we take our turn here. We're just about dead anyway. Opponent still has a Haywire Might. Just kidding. Sacks a Haywire Might, T to treasure. Well, we need a miracle. We need a miracle, like a Scalding Tarn. Well, this just keeps getting worse. Sack it, draw a card. It's a ritual, but we got nothing to do with it. Haywire Might's going to come back and eat the Ruby Medallion. Yeah, I think we're just dead here, right? There's no possible way that we can... They have the Graveyard lockdown, so Past in Flames doesn't do it. I mean, I guess we can wait another turn while we look at the deck list, but I think we're just dead. Juggernaut for Timeless, eh? Charming Prince, Coppercoat Vanguard. So kind of like a taxi humanish aggro deck. Ooh, another round. That's definitely spicy. Mana Tithe. I do love Mana Tithe. Have you thought about, what do you think about Solitude? Is Solitude worth it? Maybe Solitude's not even worth it. I like Solitude with Ephemerate a lot. Yeah, that's definitely a very spicy deck. That looks super sweet. Kind of like Esper Blink Humans. Very intrigued by another round. How is another round actually felt in the deck? Has it actually felt fast enough for Timeless? I know it can do sweet things in Standard because we've done that, but can it actually do Oh, you haven't had a chance to test with it yet. Yeah, I mean, it looks fun. I am curious. I am curious about another round. That was the one card that sticks out that I really like another round. But Timeless is just so fast and punishing. Does it actually keep up in Timeless too? I haven't tried it in Timeless yet. A couple of days ago, I played in Mono White, another on Flicker deck. Super sweet with Timeless reinforcements. Ooh. Well, that does sound spicy. Well, about it. Thought Monitor draws some cards. And Mishra's Bobble grows the dork. 9, 10, 11. So the opponent needs 3 more artifacts for us to die this turn. Oh, okay. Lava Spur Boots and death. All right. Well. Maybe. Jeez. So we can bring in Static Prison, I guess, is just like a catch-all. But that gets got by the Haywire Mite, too. Defense the Haywire Mite's just like the bane of our existence. Apparently, we cannot ever beat a Haywire Mite. Do you feel there are any decks that could use a power-up in Modern that didn't get one in MH3? Oh, I mean, there's so many. It really depends on, like... are you talking about decks that are top tier, or we're top tier at some point, or just like there's so many tribes and archetypes and synergies that could certainly use more power that are like not really on the radar in Modern at this point. Like, think of, I don't know, Tree Folk or Assassins. We just got Assassin's Creed, but Assassin's Creed is nowhere near enough to actually like make Assassins good because it's just such a powered down set. But there's so many things like that you could theoretically make good. Although I will say, I feel like this Modern Horizons set in general did a pretty good job of making new archetypes and focusing its power narrowly. Like, they probably messed up with Nadu maybe, but like the cards are really good but only in certain decks. We see like Ugin's Labyrinth being one of the strongest cards in the entire Modern format, but not every deck can actually play Ugin's Labyrinth because it has a pretty big requirement to be able to make it work. So I think I might say this is the best Modern Horizons set. I don't think it's necessarily the most powerful. I think Modern Horizons 2 is still the most powerful Modern Horizons set because the Evoke Elementals are just, they're so over the top, and the 1-drops in the set are so over that. When you compare like Ocelot Pride to Ragavan or something, Ocelot Pride is really good, but it's just not like, you know, this historically pushed style of card. So I think this might be the best set in terms of balance, where it's done exactly what I want a Modern Horizons set to do, which is shake up the format, change things, bring new archetypes into the format, but also not break anything. We'll see if that last one holds. We'll know a lot more after this weekend with the Pro Tour. I think Nadu could possibly be broken. Storm, the more I play with it, the more I think it was really... I think it's going to be fine. I think it's back, and it's going to be a legit deck, but I don't know if it's going to break the deck, because Storm is just a hateable archetype. I think Nadu is a much less hateable archetype, but overall, I think they actually kind of nailed it. Orm's Chant doesn't get got by Haywire Mite, unlike Defense Grid. It's true. That's a good point, G Fuel Cold. I mean, maybe it's worth playing Orm's Chant over Defense Grid. I think the hard part is having the mana to... The upside of Defense Grid is you can play it and then the next turn go off. When Orm's Chant, you need the extra mana to be able to play it during the turn that you are going off. So I think that's the challenge of it. Not that that's like a deal breaker. I think it can be used by that. Smoke Bomb. Tomer loves that card. Smoke Bombs. Is there anything? So chat, you gotta tell me on this. Is there any cards from this Assassin's Creed set that are gonna do literally anything in Modern? Am I wrong to say? And I don't want to come off as a hater because this isn't about Assassin's Creed, because I don't even know Assassin's Creed, so I don't have any strong feelings about it. But just like as a Magic player, when I look through this set, to me Assassin's Creed looks like one of the least powerful sets that Wizards has printed in a long time. And especially if you consider sets that are like legal and modern. If you only include sets that are legal and modern, this has got to be one of the least powerful sets that has been printed in, I mean, I don't know. This set just looks so powered down to me. Is Scepter Chat going to be a thing, or is there too much artifact hate now? The last couple days, Lord Boys, I've been working on Scepter Chant. There will be a Scepter Chant video coming up. It's coming. Will it be a real thing, like top tier, like a top tier real thing? That's another question. Will it be a thing we're playing on the channel and getting some wins with? That is for sure, because I've already been working on it. So that much is going to happen. Well, here we go. Scalding Tard. Crack the Scalding Tard. Get a mountain. We will start with a Manamorphose. Red and red. Ugh, what did Foothills? Boo. Desperate Ritual. Glimpse the Impossible. Those are good hits. Manamorphose. Red. Draw a card. Make some mana. Another Medallion. Well, Manamorphose. Red and red. Pyretic Ritual. Reckless Impulse. Static Prison, eh? Oh, man. Do you think they have a force? Would they have... Is there anything we've cast this turn? Now, this is the first time Medallions have been in Modern. Is this the first... Is there anything we've cast this turn that our opponent needed to counter? Like, if we go Wish for Past in Flames, do you think it works? Or do we need to be... Do you think our opponent's slow rolling? They milled 2 Force of Negations. Do you think they're slow rolling a 3rd Force of Negation? Oh, let's play the Ruby Medallion. Wish. For... I mean, we gotta go for it. Is there any way we can play around it? Storm counts... Wait, what about empty the Warrens? Should we just empty? What if we just empty the Warrens, make 20 goblins in Static Prison the Emery? And then if they have a counter, it doesn't really matter. Then it might actually just be correct. I didn't think of that. We should have cast the Static Prison first. The only problem with Relay is we can't cast the cards until next turn. And I don't know if we want to wait until next turn. So I think we just Warrens. I think Warrens is fine. So yeah, let's empty the Warrens. Unless watch our opponent have Mindbreak Trap. If they have Mindbreak Trap, they are so prepared and they got us. All right, Gobbo, 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 Gobbo. I mean, that's not a bad turn 3, right? 20 goblins and a Static Prison on your Emery, just for fun. If we had thought it through that we were going to go for empty, we should have cast the Static Prison first and we would have got 2 more goblins, but... How do you lose this turn if you cast Relay? It would mostly just be them drawing into some sort of... stacks piece or hate piece that can shut us down from, like, comboing off next turn. I think the same question applies to the goblins, right? Like, how do you learn, or how do you lose if you make 20 goblins here against the artifact deck? I have a funny story with Ormschant. So do I. I have a funny story with Ormschant that I've told before. I don't know how many of you know it or remember it. I will tell you after. I have a funny story with Ormschant. When it was legal and standard, and so it was mana burn, I was playing a mono black player who was mana screwed, and I was playing Ormschant. He finally got Dark Ritual and cast it. I responded by Ormschanting him. He says, "Does that mean I take 3? I said, yes, and he scooped. I was playing I was playing, so I've been working on Scepter Chant the last couple of days, so we can have a video of it. I got someone, this I didn't actually think through. I got to fizzle someone's Miracle that was so good, where they were playing Miracles for some reason. They revealed Temporal Mastery. When you draw the Miracle, it puts a trigger on the stack. So when they put the Miracles trigger to take an extra turn, or cast it to take an extra turn on the stack, Orm's Chant responds to get them. But my actual Orm's Chant story, I think I've told you this before, but the Orm's Chant is how I literally have learned to play Magic. Like, my introduction to Magic 20 years ago when I first started playing was me playing a ultra casual charge counter deck from original Mirrodin block. Like, one of the most casual decks. Is this worth keeping? We got the Medallion, but we got no card draw. We make a bunch of mana, but it does. I think we mulligan. Ooh. Oh, I mean, we got to keep, this is a land away from being the dream. All right, we'll put one of the ruby medallions to the bottom. Well, I guess it's a land and also a card draw spell, so there are still issues with this hand, but this hand's close. It's close. So that's how I learned to play. I learned to play Magic against, so with this janky, super casual charge counter deck. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just learning how to build Magic decks, just learning about the game. So I built this deck because I was like, hey, charge counters. They're cool. Look at that. I can put some counters on my Arcbound Overseer or whatever. I can Eon Storm you. So I built this deck, and I was playing against one of the friends I played with, was so much better at Magic than me, and like had competitive Scepter Chant for Extended, which was like a real thing at the time. So it was me playing my charge counter deck. I don't even know how he enjoyed it, because he would just like stomp me and stop. It wasn't even like my casual charge counter deck. There was no way it was going to be able to beat this legit tier Scepter Chant deck. So he would just smack me and smack me and smack me, and I would get more and more frustrated. I was getting like table flipping mad. So eventually I figured it out that I had to like add Shatter to my deck. I was digging through this huge mess of cards to try and find some way to stop this friggin' Scepter Chant deck, and finally figured out I could play Shatter, and I could like shatter the Isochron Scepter in response and get rid of it, and then there's a chance. And finally, after weeks of that, I won a game with my janky charge counter deck. And the next day he shows up with Stasis. So it's like I passed the first test of Prison Magic, and then my janky charge counter artifact deck had to figure out how to beat Stasis Lock, which is way worse, way harder. So yeah, that's how I learned how to play Magic, and that's why I always am skeptical of Wizards. And I don't know, maybe I'm just unique, but that's why I'm always skeptical when Wizards talk so much about. Oh, you know what Stasis is? Oh God, Stasis is one of the most miserable lock cards of all time. That's what I think it is. I was abused as a new player by Stasis and Scepters, and now I'm repeating the cycle. But I think that's why I'm always a little skeptical when Wizards is like so insistent on removing any sort of like lock piece or thing that they think is unfun from Magic. Because my experience was very different with those cards. To me, getting locked out of the game again and again and again, and having to figure out how to like beat it, and eventually doing it and being super happy when I did, like that's what got me hooked on Magic. So I actually am not sure. In Wizards, I'm sure they have data. I'm sure they have like more than I do on it. But that's why I'm a little skeptical of the idea. Like, we need zero land destruction. We need zero anything that can like, lock someone out of the game in modern Magic design. Because for me, like, that's what actually got me hooked on the game, was having to learn how to deal with that. And it wasn't that I was playing that. I was playing against that with a deck that really, in all honesty, had no business fighting against like a tier extended deck. But it ended up like getting me hooked on the game. So that's one of the reasons I'm very excited to try Scepter Chant in Modern now. How many counters can they possibly have? Not that our hand does anything anyway. They're going to start making constructs. They're going to put Shadow Sphere on the constructs. Do we just pass? Do we play the Ral? How many answers can they reasonably have to Ral? Not that many, right? Do we do it? Oh, yeah, this is an account that has all the cards on it with the Daybreak Games creator program. Oh, speaking of that, I got some codes for you all. Let me see if I can find them. But I have some Moto codes to give away. If anyone wants some juicy play points. Do we play the RAL, chat? Do you think we actually play the RAL? Is it worth it? All right, let me see. Let me figure out the best way. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have five codes I can give away for 120 play points, which is enough that you can do a draft, a league, or whatever. So it is play points, so you can't use them to buy cards. They're the points that you can use to enter events, and then you can win cards at those events, of course. But I'll get you hooked up. I'm gonna play the RAL. Play the RAL past the turn. Oh, come on now. Oh, my goodness. Rah! All right. Well, this is going horribly. Pass the turn. Opponent. Urza Saga. So opponent's just sitting on counters after counter after counter. We're getting our Ruby Medallions and Rals countered and countered and countered. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason to cast it, right? The only risk is we can't do anything with it, so it opens it up to removal. But against a mostly blue artifact deck, I don't think that's like a huge risk. Now I imagine they get some graveyard hate, and we're going to be in Shadow Pair. It's delicious. It even looks kind of like a pear. It's Shadow Sphere. It's like it's an orb. You can see it right there. That's the sphere of the shadow. There's two of them, like eyes. About it. Also, Vortex, not Vortexed. I mean, do y'all think you're gonna change my pronunciations at this point? It's been so long. It seems very unlikely, I would say. It's if Twitter yelling at me can't make me change them, I don't think it's gonna happen. Shadow Pair, yeah. I like how this Place on Arcane card is irrelevant on the cards here. I mean, so it is mostly irrelevant, but it is actually possible in this deck, like, that we could Place on Arcane. Like, if we go to combo off, we, like, Pyretic Ritual, splice a Desperate Ritual on a Desperate Ritual, cast a Desperate Ritual, and make even more mana. So it is, like, it's relevant, like, 1% of the time or something, but not much more than that. But it is actually sort of relevant. I'm surprised our opponent did not make a construct, honestly. Opponent, that Urza Saga, nothing Soul Guide Lantern, which does shut down some of our shenanigans, but I am surprised they didn't actually make a single. Oh, they got another one? Oh, goodness, that's worse. Storm decks have historically spliced Desperates onto Desperates. Yeah, it does come up on occasion. About it. A Nettle Cyst. Certainly. Well, we finally got them to sort of tap down. They could still have a Metallic Rebuke up. We haven't drawn any card draw this game anyway, which is making it hard to do anything. We draw a mountain. Well, let's play the mountain, and yeah, I mean, I think we got a Static Prison, the Nettle Cyst. The Urza Saga is still an issue, but oh, they do have it. Maybe we should have brought in the counter hate. Well, get rid of the Nettle Cyst. So many rituals, so little action. Can you say Asmore? Yeah, Asmore. Asmore, my buddy Asmore. I tried once when they first printed Asmore. I tried because I thought it would be really funny because I know I like butchered the name again and again in the spoiler video, and I thought it would be really funny to have a video where I just like nailed it because I never nailed the pronunciation of anything, and I think I did okay. I don't think I actually nailed it, but I actually did try to pronounce it correctly because I thought it would be a funny bit. Well, Static Prison ticking down. Past the... Oh, this is going so poorly. Past the turn. Abulio. It's still, to me, if I look at that, I know it's supposed to be Abuelo, because y'all taught me that, but... but... Abulio. Kind of... It's still... If I just look at the word, that pronunciation actually still makes sense to my brain. There are actually a couple of compilations of me mispronouncing things on the YouTube. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need any magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. So what are y'all doing with Ezio? Did I say Ezio? It was probably Ezio. I think that's probably how I would pronounce it. I tend to slip up trying to say Brotherhood's end correctly. Brothershood. Yeah, I always put the S in there, right? Brothershood. I say Brother's Hood end instead of Brotherhood's end. Secret layer mispronunciations. Etsio. It's like the craft site, right? Where you can sell your things with an O at the end. That's how I remember it. If you want some overpriced homemade D&D dice or counterfeit goods, go to Ezio. I still have no idea how to say YGGD. Those letters, they don't go together. Like YGGDR. There's no way you can get an English word out of that. I'm actually curious, how are you supposed to pronounce the letters YGG? Like Yugd, Yug. Yugdisrael. I can't. Yeah, but I only speak English, so how do I? It's supposed to be like Norse or something, right? It's like Viking stuff, I think. Ig? Really? YGG is Ig? Huh. Those tricky Vikings and their pronunciations. Yes, we will not give you back a nettle cyst. Well, man, I'm 99% sure they have a Metallic Rebuke in hand. They've been leaving up exactly Metallic Rebuke for essentially this entire game, so I'm very confident that they have it. Metamorphose. Not even a good one. No cost reduction, so it is literally just a cantrip. Red, and also red. Oh. Well, I mean, we can't not go for it, but it's not going to work. Wow! About it. I mean, they even have Soul Guide Lantern, so even if we start doing it, they can just nuke our graveyard. Pyretic Ritual. So I don't know what the end game of this actually is. No, we will not flip. Make a little mana. I don't think we can get to... Alright, force... Opponent is playing every counterspell in existence. About it. Force a negation. Okay, we're dead. They can get Damping Sphere. We're dead. Good God. Good God. The hate is immense. Seth, have you played Limited with the set yet? The energy is sweet. Would you love to see him Goldfish? Limited content thoughts? I have not played any Limited of Modern Horizons 3 yet. Normally I play a little bit and do like a video or a stream of it. Modern Horizons has been tough because I've just been so excited to try the new cards. It's like, to me, Modern Horizons is a set that's like designed to make my favorite constructed formats more interesting, because I just love Modern, I love Timeless. So I just went right into constructed with Modern Horizons 3. But I have heard other people say that they want more limited, and I'm actually like, so here's been my experience. Is when we've done limited content, it's kind of been medium popularity to lower popularity. Here's my question for you, chat. What if we tried to get a limited person? Because I think Goldfish, when I think of Goldfish, I think it's very like, I think of constructed, because we've always done constructed content, prices, deck lists, all that kind of stuff. So I think of constructed just be, wow, Arbor Elf, this is a blast from the past. No fear of Ren and 6, no fear of Orcish Bowmaster. We are running out the Arbor Elf and it'll be fine. Would you like limited content? Like, would it be worse? Should I start looking for someone to do limited content, like a limited series, someone that would do, regular, because I can do a draft every once in a while or one for a set or something, but would you actually like limited content, like someone making regular weekly or something limited videos? Like, because I know limited, I think what has changed is limited has gotten a ton more popular because of Arena. And I know a lot of people know that limited's the best way to build a collection. So I think limited's really grown in the last few years, but that's not something that we've really embraced. So Seth, I think it's going to be awesome to see your brother playing my favorite team this season. Yeah, I'm hyped for it. It's going to be sweet. I think Nummy and Voxy are probably doing all right for themselves. I don't know if they, I would have to talk to them. I don't know. Maybe they'd be interested in doing a Goldfish series, but yeah, I can definitely look into it and see if that's something y'all are interested in, because I do think limited has been growing. Well, here we go. Can we win through a Karn, through a Clothis? Please don't get a Tormod script. Of course they get a Tormod script. Of course. All right. We're going to have to kill you for that, opponent. We're going to have to kill you for that. So, we will Reckless Impulse. Draw a couple cards. There's a Desperate Ritual, so we will Desperate Ritual. Can we win the game? Can we win the game this turn? So there's a Desperate Ritual. There's the Rent's Resolve. Oh, okay, Pyretic Ritual, cast a Pyretic Ritual, make a little mana. Strike it rich. Make a treasure. How do we do this? So we could wish for Grape Shot. How do we do this? Yeah, I think Louisville's actually going to be good this year. I've been talking to my brother a bit about it, and he's convinced that Louisville, he thinks they're going to be good. He's all on board. I mean, he's excited about being with his new team and everything, so it's the first couple weeks of summer practice, but he seems fully convinced that you're gonna be a tournament team, gonna be very, very good. So exciting if you're into Louisville. The problem with Past in Flames is Tormod script. So if we cast the Past in Flames, they can Tormod script it. My little brother, he's playing at Louisville this year for his final year. What do you think the chances are of Goldfish ever having a dedicated Pauper player? So Storm counts 5. So if we wish for 2 mana, do we just need to wish for Grape Shot? We can't use the treasure, which is a little awkward. That might have been a mistake. Yeah, Yeah, that probably was not the best idea. Now let's Reckless Impulse, who we hit. Okay, Desperate Ritual is very good. Cast the Desperate Ritual. Wish. And Grape Shot. So we can Grape Shot, kill the Karn, kill the Arbor Elf. We can Galvanic. If we Galvanic Relay, what can they tutor up with Karn that just absolutely gets us? I think we have to go. Yeah, maybe Empty's fine. They could have Anger. They can tutor up something with the Karn, like an Ensnaring Bridge. I think that's the question, is how bad is this Karn? Like, how problematic is Karn getting to tutor again? Is that problematic enough that we need to Grape Shot it? Actually, I think we're going to Grape Shot. I think we're just going to Grape Shot. I think Grape Shot down the Karn. I think this is fine. We Grape Shot down the Karn. We Grape Shot down the Arbor Elf. So our opponent's going to have... Our opponent's going to have a single Klothys and 2 lands. That seems not very likely to win them the game. And this frees our treasure. It frees our treasure for the future, which is somewhat relevant. So Karn down, Arbor Elf down, and we can strike it rich. And we can glimpse next turn past the turn. I don't know if that was right or not, but I think it's close enough. Do you like how much MTG Finance influences the game? Do you wish all cards were budget so everyone has access to them? Do you think there is a way to make every Magic card under $10? Oh, that is a topic that I could probably write an entire book about. So my stance is, I wish more cards were cheaper. I don't know if I think I don't think I agree that every card needs to be under $10. I do think that Magic cards having value has been like important to how the game has succeeded for 30 years. So I think if they were starting over now, maybe it would be different in some way. But I think the way that they did it has allowed the game to thrive for 30 years. I will say, I think cards in general should be cheaper. I value cards being playable over collectible. I've talked about this before. Like, I like the idea of the one of one ring, or serialized cards, or, you know, the most exclusive Galaxy foil extended border that you get one in every hundreds of packs. Like, those cards being valuable, that's what I like to be collectible. Like, that's where I want to see the game going, and where I think it is going is towards the base versions of cards being cheap. I don't know if every card can literally be under $10, but the base versions of cards being cheap and accessible for people to play with. And then the expensive cards are expensive because they're special printings, right? They're scarcer because they're serialized, or they have some special foil treatment. Those cards being expensive is great. Like, I think it's perfectly fine for there to be expensive. I think a $2 million One Ring is great for the game, as long as the normal blood One Ring, the normal One Ring, is super accessible. My problem isn't that a One Ring sold for $2 million, the one of one serialized one. My problem is the cheapest one selling for $85, and that's too much for people to play with. So that's kind of where I come down on that stuff, like, for the most part. So yeah, I want the game to be cheaper. I don't know if under $10 is actually realistic, but definitely cheaper than where it is at currently. Now let's see if we can win here. It would be much easier if our opponent didn't have this Tormod script. This Tormod script is making our life a challenge. So Pyretic Ritual makes a mana. So we're going to have to try to win around the crypt, which I think means casting a bunch of spells and wishing for probably empty this time, I think. Would you buy a 1/1 Blood Moon? Would I buy it? No. $2 million. How rich you think I am? No, I wouldn't spend $2 million on a piece of car. I mean, I don't have $2 million anyway, but even if I was Post Malone rich and had millions of dollars, I still don't think I would spend it on cardboard, honestly. I would hope I would not. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with spending money on, if you have a lot of money, I guess, and spending money on stuff you enjoy. I wasn't trying to make it sound like that, but I feel like hopefully there's more. I don't know. I would hope if I had $2 million to spend, I would do something that benefited others with it. How much would you pay for a 1/1 Panharmonicon? $50? 100? How about $100? After reading Twitter replies to a number of people just delusional about the card and its importance to Modern, would you buy a 1/1 Commander and 1/1 Strip Mine for $2 million? Oh yes, yeah, I would. You got me. You finally got me. If I could flex on Tomer with a 1/1 Strip Mine and a 1/1 Commandeer, that's different. That is completely different. That's necessary. That's money well spent. I'll take out a second mortgage on my house for that one, just to stick it to poor Tomer. That is still one of my all-time favorite content moments, honestly. Okay, so now I think we just empty. We could do a big Galvanic Relay, but what are we Galvanic Relaying for with this silly Tormod script there? So I think we take the Empty the Warrens. We cast the Empty the Warrens. We make a bunch of goblins, and we hope that this bunch of goblins leads us to victory over what seems like a Ponza deck from Modern's past. This is like a Ponza deck from 4 years ago or something. I feel like someone... I mean, Arbor Elf is just... I love this deck. I love Ponza. I love Blood Moons. Like, it's such a cool archetype. And... I mean, I guess we make our opponent crack the Tormod script. Yep. I guess we should have also done that first to up our storm count by 1, but... All right. Well, opponent, can you beat it? Can you beat it? Can you beat the goblins? And the Scion. Oh, you had so many counters in your affinity deck. That was you seem prepared for storming. Good game. Good game. Thank you. Yeah, the deck looked interesting. It was a unique take on the artifact deck. What does Ponza stand for? I love telling this story. So Ponza is a name that refers to land destruction decks, but it actually goes back to the late 90s. There was the person who created. So in the 90s, Sly became a thing. Sly was mono red. There was never mono red before. Magic was so different back in the day. There was no theory. People didn't understand it. So people built Sly for the first time, Pulse Sly, which was the first mono red aggro deck, which is still very similar to how mono red theoretically works today. Like, you play efficient things. They're not the most powerful things. You get in fast damage. You close out with burn. So someone decided that they would add land destruction to this archetype, which created a new archetype. So it was like red, but it was splashing for these land destruction effects. And the person who created the deck really liked this deep fried calzone that was called a Panzerata. So he named the deck Panza, and now 25 years later, land destruction is still called Panza because of that one quirk of fate. Bashan rolled a 4-1 with Panza recently. This looks similar. Was he playing Arbor Elf? I think I'm big on the Panza, but with Flare of Cultivation. We'll have to play it on stream sometime, but Panza with Flare of Cultivation, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Arboreal Grazer. Flare of Cultivation, Arboreal Grazer, Flare Cultivation, Rampion to Karn's, One Rings, etc., etc. That's I just don't think Arbor Elf's playable anymore. It's sad because Arbor Elf, if you go back to Budget Magic from like Nick Fit's origin is still debated. What is your Nick Fit origin story? So I've heard it was had to do with nicotine fit and like getting out for a smoke break in between rounds of tournaments. I've also heard that it was supposed to be nice fit because of the deck synergies, but the person who posted the original thread on it on the source typoed the title of the post is Nick Fit instead of nice fit. And that ended up leading to the Nick Fit name. Was that actually? Yeah. I think that's probably the most realistic one, that the source thread was typoed. Which is actually a pretty hilarious story. Arboreal. See, I can say it right if I wanted to. Arboreal Grazer. Still, that card. It is. Oh no, we got a sideboard. We really got a sideboard. It is good with Flare. I will give it that. I do think it is very good with Flare of Cultivation. Ooh. All right. I mean, we got a Ruby Medallion. We don't care about Blood Moons. We'll try this. We'll try it. Nick Flit's such a cool deck. I love Nick. I was actually hoping they'd put Veteran Explorer into Modern, although maybe with Flare of Cultivation, maybe that would just break Modern. Opponent. This is like, what did Bosch and Roll's deck look like? Was Bosch actually playing Arbor Elf Utopia Sprawl? That's just like, I mean, that's super sweet. I just haven't seen Arbor Elf since Bowmasters came around. I had to stop playing it. I played so many Arbor Elf decks. That was like the cheat code to a lot of budget decks, right? Is Utopia Sprawl Arbor Elf, because you can just power into like such big things so quickly. That was like the cheat code. But then Bowmasters started killing it 33% of matches and had to move on. Pound it, gonna exile the Bloodstained Mire. Well, I think we just get the Surveil Land. We kind of want an extra ritual. Ren's Resolve. All right, we'll put that on top. Untap. Play the land. Play the... We'll just Ruby Medallion. Ruby Medallion, go. Do your worst. Actually, our opponent don't do your worst. They might actually have Artifact Destruction. Y61 cards. Couldn't cut the last wish. I think it might be correct to just play one less wish and play 3 wishes, but how many channel points do I need to redeem to get more Seth vs. Phil content? That video ruled. There's been a couple. We've done 2 or 3 Seth vs. Phil videos. I can tell you there will be more. There will definitely be more. It's just tricky to come up with like good themes sometimes. That's kind of the challenge of them, is trying to come up with enough strong themes for them. But there definitely will be more coming. Well, I think we're off to the races here, maybe. The question is, do we Ral? If we Ral and they kill Ral, how bad is that for... Yeah, let's wait. Let's Ren's Resolve. Oh, okay. There's a... Speaking of Ral, let's Arid Mesa and crack Arid Mesa. And opponent gonna exile a card from the graveyard. Sure. Crack Arid Mesa, get a mountain. So I think the plan is... So we can Ritual Ral Glimpse. Is that worth it? Do we want to spend our Ritual? Well, let's spend the Ritual. Ritual. Ral. Glimpse. Heads. Oh, wait. We have not cast enough yet. Okay, no flip yet. No flip yet. Come on. Rituals. Rituals. Manamorphose counts. That is technically a ritual. Manamorphose. Ral. Heads. Lost the flip. I mean, if our opponent can't kill this Ral, I think we win here on turn 3. Our odds of winning on turn 3 seem kind of high. Well, let's Glimpse. Ral. Heads. Lost the flip. Down to 60. Draw some cards. Ritual. Ooh, no ritual. Storm count 6. One of those is Ral. We have 2 mana. Well, let's Ren's Resolve. We really need to hit a ritual, though. Ooh, those were not rituals. Heads, we won the flip. No. Actually, wait. How many? Oh, wait, 7? I think that's enough. I think that's... We're going to try. Is that enough? That's enough. Okay, that's 8. Ren's Resolve. Draws us some cards. Well, Ultimate Ral. Exile some more cards. This... Sorry about that. My audio box did that thing again. It did find us some rituals, though. So, Desperate Ritual for free. 3 mana. And... Reckless Impulse for free. I mean, this is a game. This is the power of the Ral. Ren's Resolve for free. Storm count up to 10. How long does our opponent let us go? Strike it rich for free. Storm count is at 11. And then we will... Do we get to play Static Prison for free? No, not for free. What else do we get to play for free? Glimpse? No. Past in Flames? No. Oh, we gotta pay mana for all these? That's no fair. Well, in that case, do we actually win here? We only have 4 mana. And we have to start paying mana for our spells? Well, we can just flip another Ral, I guess. Play a Ral. Reckless Impulse. Ral. Heads. Lost the flip. That should be fine, though. Draw a couple cards. Ren's Resolve. Ral. Heads. Lost the flip. Not great. Ritual. How about a ritual? There's a Desperate Ritual. Desperate Ritual. Ral. Heads. 3 in a row. Lost the... Well, we're so bad at flipping coins. 3 in a row. Okay. So in that case, strike it rich. Flash it back. Ral. We can't lose 4 in a row. We're not that unlucky. 4 in a row. Okay. Okay, the whiffing will continue. Wish. How about Wish? Ral. Heads. Oh, 5 in a row? Oh, jeez. That's really not good. Well, I mean, I think we're going to win anyway, but that is a lot of coin flips to lose in a row. Grape Shot. Storm count, 18. Ral. Heads. 6 in a row. My goodness. Wait, what is... I actually want to math that out. What are the odds of losing 6 coin flips in a row? Opponent's going to crack a relic. Not that I think it really matters. All the same targets. What are the odds? 1 in 64. See, that's pretty bad. That only happened like 2% of the time. Less than 2% of the time. I think we still win here. I'm pretty sure. Yes, F6. Watch our opponent have Weather the Storm. Ah, okay, Xaxes. Wait, okay. So it's 50%. This is right? So it's 0.5 times 0.5. Wait, no. So 50% chance to win a flip. So 2 flips would be 25. 12.5. 6.25. 3.125. So it'd be 1.5% chance? That's correct, right? Yeah, 1 in 64. So 1.5. Well, good news is we shouldn't have to worry about that for the rest of the league. Seth, you sound like you were hearing when the mic disconnects. It's your USB port deactivating and activating. Oh. Wait. Oh, so Delphi Guru. You think the problem is my USB port? How do I do that? I was thinking the problem was with my audio box that I plug everything into, and something went bad with that. If it's my USB port though, then it's the ghost. The green screen's the ghost. If it's a USB port though, I'm not sure if any of that'll even matter. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess around with that because I didn't even consider that it could be a USB issue. I was just thinking it was an audio box issue. It's weird because I'm using the same setup and port that I have been for a while, and I never had a problem with it before. But in just the last week or two, it started doing this. So maybe the USB port's going or something. I'll try it in a different port if that'll take care of it. That would be way easier and cheaper than switching up the audio box. All right, can we get a treasure chest out of this? Can we get the 3 and 2 with Storm? Ooh. Look at it. We got to keep this. This is a Ral or a medallion away from just popping. We got the card draw. We got triple Desperate Ritual. We can even splice them to each other. All we need is the cost reduction. Arid Mesa, go. Hey, Seth, I was inspired by cards like Trapjaw Tyrant, Elven Chorus, and Troll Commander Clash episode. I made green, white, purple commander deck. It's so rancid. I would love you guys to play it for another low-powered episode. Do you have a link, Agent 15? Oh, come on. Don't scam us. Oh, they're playing Living End. Okay, this should be interesting. Well, would you like one of our 2 Ren 3 Resolves or one of our 3 Rituals? Yeah, I will explore that more because I hadn't really thought about it. Well, let's get a Poller. Past in Flames, I think, goes Grave. Ritual. Is there a world where we can do this with Past in Flames? Ritual, Past in Flames. I think it's got to go Graveyard. All right, mill it. We need the Ral, we need the Ruby. Ral or Ruby, that's what we need before we die to our opponent. We draw Strike It Rich. Well, we will play a Mountain and Ren's Resolve. That's a Ral. Okay, pass the turn. I mean, I think that might... Our opponent could have Force. They could have a Force. If they don't have a Force, I think we can win this turn. Opponent passes. We draw Wish. Well, Desperate Ritual. Ral. Hold. Desperate Ritual. Trigger Ral. Heads. Lose the flip. Make some mana. Desperate Ritual. Ral. Heads. Lose the... We've lost... Is that 8 coin flips in a row? I think we're up to 8. The odds keep getting lower. Strike It Rich. Ral. Heads. Oh, finally won a flip. 1 out of 9. Make a mana. And then Past in Flames, Ral, heads, lose the flip. Opponent. Oh! Oh! They had the force. They were just slow rolling it. Yeah. That is a bummer. And we can't cast anything. Oh, they were slow rolling the force. Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to switch to tails after how bad that's been. Oh, we might be in trouble now. We emptied our hand. We got nothing to cast. Our opponent's gonna wrath away our Ral with a living end. We lost a Past in Flames, all of our rituals. I'm going to jam this Burrow Sacred deck in Modern. Going to start trying RC opponent. Another Grief, pitching an Architects of Will to take the wish from our hand. Leave us with no friends, no cards. Yeah, heads is due. It's time. Opponent. We draw a Sacred Foundry. Not a very helpful card. Well, strike it, Rich, I guess. Heads. Lost the flip. Okay, we got to switch to tails. This heads thing is just not working for us. Sacred Foundry. Attack with Ral. Oh, I thought we were going to win. Opponent. Do you think Wizards New Storm was going to be a thing by giving Flusterstorm as a buy a box promo? I mean, I think they knew it was a possibility because Mono Red Storm was a thing in Legacy, thanks to Ruby Medallion. So I think they had to at least know there was a chance. Well, Manamorphose. Trigger Ral. Tails. Okay, we won with tails. Maybe the secret's just pick tails. That might be the secret of Ral. Red. Bloodstained Mire. So Wish is 2 mana. Past in Flames. Oh, we can try again. Bloodstained Mire. Crack Bloodstained Mire. Get a mountain. Wish. Trigger Ral. Tails. Lost the flip. All right, so we get to Wish. 4 Past in Flames. We're going to cast a Past in Flames. Heads. Won the flip. No transform. Hey, now we should be good. Desperate Ritual. Unless our opponent can stop this ritual. Tails. Won the flip. No. And Desperate Ritual. Tails. Lost the flip. Makes a mana. Desperate Ritual. Tails. Just pick tails. Tails never fails. Won the flip. No transform. Manamorphose. Back up to 7 mana. And I think we're going to be okay. We won the flip. We're not going to transform yet. Make some mana. Red. Storm counts at 8. We got to get up to 19. We draw another land. How about a Ren's Resolve? Draw a couple cards. Tails never fails, except for now. Ren's Resolve. Tails never fails. Lost the flip. Ritual? How about a ritual? Manamorphose counts. This deck is so wild. This was after our opponent. Do we just flip? Not yet. We need the cost reduction. We will flip in a minute, but not quite yet. We don't have another Ral or Ruby Medallion yet. Manamorphose. Cast it. Down to 10. We just got to not kill ourselves to our own Ral. Won the flip. No flip. Make some mana. Draw some cards. Manamorphose. Oh, there's the Ruby Medallion. That's going to make flipping a lot easier. So play the Ruby Medallion. Ren's Resolve. Now we will definitely flip Ral if we get the chance. Tails never fails. Okay, not yet. Soon. Reckless Impulse. Tails never fails. Come on now. Lost the flip. Whiff. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Past in Flames. We got the Manamorphosis in the graveyard. Tails never fails. Lost the flip. 3 in a row. Oh no. Tails never fails. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. Yes, we would like to transform it with 18 loyalty. Make some red mana. Draws up cards. Oh, that was... I got to go back and look at our coin flips throughout this league, because I feel like we have coin flipped really, really sketchily. You should see me in Vegas. Every time I go there for Vegas, I lose all my money. Then I have to sell magic cards to the vendors at the Magic Con. It's a tale as old as time. Alf, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. Manamorphos into another Ruby Medallion. Like, can we just win now? We got to be able to win now, right? We got to be able to win. Can we just wish for lethal? Did our opponent scoop finally? All right, Reckless Impulse. That one's free. Glimpse. Exile some cards. Valaka. Okay, let's wish. I think this should just do it. Wish. From the sideboard. For the grape shot at your face. And lethal? And opponent. I can't believe our opponent stuck through that. Why sit there? Actually, maybe they knew they were playing against me and they figured I was going to mess it up. That is also a possibility. Just casual 2-minute 18. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how good Ral is in this deck. I can't believe, so I knew that Ral was going to be good. I didn't think that Ral would single-handedly make Mono Red Storm one of the best decks in Modern. That caught me by surprise. My expectation was Ral would be good in Storm, but I didn't think that it would necessarily bring Storm back. What's more likely to eat a ban, this or Nadu? Ask me next stream. I really think that a huge part of this is going to be what happens at the Pro Tour this weekend. If you look at the meta right now, they're both like roughly equal in terms of like how much play they're seeing. I would say that, man, there's not even much to separate them. They're both getting a bunch of 5-0s in leagues. They're doing well in preliminaries and challenges. I think that Ruby Storm has trended a little bit down. Like, if you went back another week, right around the release, this was like winning challenges consistently. So I think maybe like Storm has trended down slightly as it's gotten hated on, and Nadu has trended up slightly as people figure it out. But those are the two big ones. If I had to pick one, I think Nadu is more likely to get banned than Storm. Because I think, my argument would be, I think Storm is easier to be hated on than Nadu. Because if you shut down Storm, all their cards do nothing. I played a game against Nadu earlier today or yesterday, but I played a game against Nadu where opponent had a fast Nadu, delighted halfling into Nadu. I had Solitude, I had Leyline Binding, I had answers for it, right? So I started trying to kill it. I cast my Leyline Binding. In response, they were able to Court a Calling, so I had to, in response to that, cast the Solitude. The end result was I killed the Nadu, but I was down like 3 cards, and my opponent had 3 Nadu triggers, and they just courted for another Nadu anyway. So I think Storm can't do that. Storm doesn't have that ability where it's like, you can see even in our games we're playing here, where our opponent shuts down, like plays an Eidolon, our opponent shuts down our graveyard, and we're kind of like, oh, we got all these rituals that do nothing. Nadu's the opposite of that. Like, even when you shut it down, it's a 3/4 flyer with a very powerful triggered ability. So I think it's the scarier card overall just because it's harder to hate on. Do the Daybreak accounts give content creators access to all the cards on Moto? Yeah. So that's a new thing. of like as of a month or two ago. But oh god, we didn't sideboard at all. Okay, hopefully that's fine. Got distracted by Nadu. Well, thankfully we got a decent hand. Is it decent enough to outrace? Oh man, we'll see. Leyline is saying today. That's actually pretty good against us. So the problem with Leyline of Sanctity, which I don't know if we have an answer to. But the problem with Leyline of Sanctity is we can't target them with Grape Shot. So that means we have to try to win with Empty the Warrens, which means our opponent's living ends are an answer to our win condition. Do you think Nadu will get rebalanced in Historic? If so, how? So I don't think it's actually a problem in Historic. I think it's an issue in Brawl. I don't know what they're going to do about that. I'm not sure. Like, so in Historic proper or in Timeless, Nadu hasn't really been a thing in my experience. I haven't played much Historic lately. I've played a lot of Timeless, but I haven't played much Historic. My experience has been that it doesn't really exist in those formats because the combo pieces don't exist in those formats. There's no Shuko, there's no Outriders in core. So the, like, win the game when I play an Nadu combo pieces, just, I don't think any exist. If I'm missing one and there's some, like, Historic deck that's popping off with Nadu, please share it with me because I could not figure out how to make it go infinite easily. Brawl, I think, is another issue. They might need to rebalance it just because of Brawl, because it is really, really good in Brawl, and it's really unfun in Brawl. Could really use one more ritual here. Okay, I kind of like Ruby Medallion. We might get wrecked, but at least Ruby Medallion survives Living End. I'll play the Ruby Medallion, pass the turn. Opponent, I assume, is going to Living End, and we're going to see if we can combo off after getting hit by another grief. Opponent, Waker Waves. Nadu is incredibly busted with Scoot Swarm and Swiftfoot Boots. Yeah, his Historic changed. I really don't play Historic hardly at all anymore. If I am going to play something like that, I pretty much play Timeless. No, we didn't sideboard at all because we were talking about Nadu and weren't looking at it. Wow, is our opponent missing their land drop? All right. Well, that works in our favor. We draw Manamorphose. So I think we play the Desperate Ritual first. So I think we Desperate Ritual. Land. Ral. Now we can respond to an interaction spell with a second Manamorphose. And maybe win? Well, Manamorphose. Ral. Tails never fails. We learned that. We got to go Tails. Won the flip. Red and red. Draw a not super helpful mountain. Well, Manamorphose. Trigger Ral. Tails never fails. Won the flip. No. Red and red. Come on. Card draw. Maybe a little card draw? A wish. Well, let's wish. Trigger Ral. Tails never fails. If our opponent doesn't have a counter in hand, we're probably going to be able to pull this off, I think. Because now we can... Actually, wait, wasn't there card draw? Is there really no card draw in our sideboard? I thought we had an impulse draw effect in the sideboard, but apparently not. Hey, welcome, Kite Bro. Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, I guess we go Past in Flames then. Cast the Past in Flames. Trigger Ral. Tails never fails, except for that time. So Past in Flames, go back to the graveyard, Manamorphose. We're going to be able to flip the Ral at some point too. Tails. We won the flip, but not yet. Make some mana. Red, white. Another Past in Flames on Manamorphose. Trigger, Tails, lost. Red, red. Red. So Storm Count's at 8 right now. Red and red. There's a ritual. Ritual. Tails. 1. Yes. Make some mana. Uh-oh. Do they have an answer to the Ral? Force of Vigor to kill the Ruby Medallion. Okay. I mean, that is an answer. It doesn't stop the Ral, but... well, we will. Ultimate Ral. Can we still win? Well, that was a very bad Ral. Reckless Impulse for free. Up the Storm Count. Reckless Impulse for free. Up the Storm Count. Play a second Ral. And Desperate Ritual. Tails never fails. Won the flip. No, not yet. So what do we need to do to actually kill our opponent here? We got to be able to, right? Past in Flames, Past in Flames, Ritual. So let's Past in Flames. Run back the rituals. So Past in Flames, Pyretic Ritual. Make some mana. We're still very pinched on mana, aren't we? Reckless Impulse. Tails never fails. Lost the flip. Oh, there's a ritual. Wait, do we have a Ruby Medallion we can cast? We can't cast it, right? That's off the Ral. That Ral really whiffed pretty hard. Pyretic Ritual. Tails. Won the flip. No. Manamorphose. Tails. Lost the flip. Makes a mana. Is this deck interesting to watch or boring to watch? I feel like when I'm comboing, I don't have a chance to look at chat because it's just constantly clicking things. So we have 6 mana floating. So Wish is 2 mana. So we Wish. Tails. Won the flip. No. Get Static Prison. Get rid of the ley line. And then we Wish. Ral. Heads. Should have went Tails. I knew better. For the Grape Shot. And Grape Shot you. Storm Count 22. And I think that is how you storm off, even through the ley line. Wow. Wow. Our opponent even had the hate. And it didn't matter. Like, it just did not matter in the end. Because in the end, we were just able to... We were able to tutor up so many of the hate pieces, answers to the hate pieces from the sideboard. I gotta say, I think this deck is like, it was an easy 2-3, which I think is actually like, how do you go through the lane line? So what we ended up doing is we wished to get a Static Prison from our sideboard to exile it, and then we wished with a second wish to get the Grape Shot for the actual win. I think this was actually a, hey, what's up, Mega Magic Carp? How are you? How's the vehicle? Oh no, don't be sorry. So I think this is the deck. I think we saw a pretty good representation of this deck. The deck is really fast, really powerful, incredibly scary. One of the maybe best decks in Modern, I would say. But we also got to see people hate on it. We also got to see Stone Brain, really good against the deck. Graveyard Hate, effective against the deck. Leyline of Sanctity, I actually don't know if that's that effective against the deck. I think that Leyline of Sanctity was our opponent's Grief Hate for Scam, and they brought it in against us, and it's okay, but it's not game over because we can answer it. Ral is a really good open. We do get a treasure chest to open as well, but I think this deck's pretty legit. If you are going to watch the Pro Tour this weekend, I am rooting that we're going to see some Finkel and Kion Storm action. Bring back the Boomer. Wow, what a janky treasure chest. Orb of Dragonkind and a Voracious Hydra. Voracious Hydra used to see some play in mono green. Oh, chat, you know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about the BNR. I gotta go on maybe like a tiny little rant. Can I go on just like a little one? It doesn't gotta be a big rant, because this isn't something that needs a big rant. But yesterday was BNR day. It was banner restricted announcement day, and this was a special banner restricted announcement. You remember last year when Wizards canceled standard rotation, they said, we're going to do one standard ban announcement a year. It's going to be just before rotation, and that's where we're going to, whatever, if anything needs to be banned before you go to rotation with this new slower schedule, that's where we're going to deal with it. So yesterday was a BNR announcement, and they announced no changes. And honestly, if you look at the standard metagame, I think that no changes is like a reasonable take on the format. Like, standard, I think, has been relatively healthy over the past year, more healthy than I would have expected. Sheoldred's 27% of decks, Aklazot's 36%. Like, nothing's at the point where Sheoldred was 60% of the meta, where Rakdos was 45% of the meta. The meta's actually been surprisingly good. So if Wizards wants to go no changes, perfectly fine. I'm not gonna complain about them going no changes on this BNR. However, there is an aspect of the BNR that I really want to bring up, because I really want to see this change. So if you read the article, I'll put it in the chat if you want to actually read the entire announcement. But essentially, it's this line that stuck out to me, which is said, we considered banning a few cards with Atraxa Grand Unifier and Iron of Eos being the leading candidates. It is difficult to predict what exactly will happen after each rotation. So Wizards created a ban schedule where the only time to ban cards in standard was right before rotation, and then we get our first real big standard ban announcement under this new schedule, and they use rotation as a justification for not changing anything because we don't know what's going to happen after rotation. And that is also correct. It is difficult to predict what's going to happen in rotation. We don't know. Wizards doesn't know. So I don't disagree with their reasoning. I think if they're going to stick to this schedule of one big standard ban thing a year, they really need to do it in like February or something. Do it as far away from rotation as possible. Have it be like after the second standard set of the year release. So you have the fall set, then you have like the later fall holiday season set. Have it be around that time, right? Have it be in like February, maybe like before the third set comes out. Look at what the standards like is looking like. How's it feeling? How are people playing it? Is Sheoldred 60% of the meta? Because just because we don't need bans right now because we don't know what the meta is going to look like after rotation doesn't necessarily mean we won't need them 3 or 6 months from now in the middle of season if something goes wrong. So that's my criticism essentially, is like, yeah, like just change this. Even if you want to stick to the once a year thing for standard, which I think is a little silly anyway to limit yourself that much, do it in the middle of the season, not right before rotation. Can you play EDH on Moto? Yes, actually, Damon, if you go to the Goldfish Commander YouTube, we spent the first 15 seasons of Commander Clash, or Commander season, playing Commander on Moto. Actually, I really love Moto. Like, Moto, it has gotten better since Daybreak has taken over. Yes, it's old. Yes, it's not the same as Arena, but I think it's a really good place to do that stuff. So I would recommend checking it out. We have some starter content on the YouTubes if you're just learning how to play Moto or whatever. Let's try a couple games with this mono green Eldrazi deck. I gotta go to bear in like a half hour or something. But I just want to cast a Wumpus Aberration. This deck is, I mean, it's Eldrazi deck, right? But it's a weird Eldrazi deck. It's This curve is incredibly high. It's playing Trinisphere. It's playing Fanatic of Rhonas. That's the only 1-drop or 2-drop in the deck. It's got a bunch of 6s that I guess can get back our lands. It looks really, really strange. It is a strange pile of Magic cards. The thing that caught my eye about it was Wumpus Aberrant. Is this an Aspiring Spike list? I saw this list in the Moto results. It just looks funny to me. Like, Wumpus Aberration is not a card that was on my list of cards people might actually play in Modern. But Daybreak has really been killing. I've been very impressed. Why do you guys switch to paper? So one reason was, there was a few reasons. One of them was, if you watch older seasons of Commander Clash, some of the games were really long and had some like crashes just because one of the greatest blessings and curses of Magic Online Magic is you have to play it exactly correct, right? You have to click through every single thing. There's no shortcutting of anything. So if you get this Commander game going where you end up with this huge stack with hundreds of triggers or whatever, it's possible you end up overloading Moto and having a Moto crash and Moto be the winner of the game. So that was part of it. Another part of it was Universes Beyond and all these supplemental products were getting more and more hit or miss coming to Moto, like because of the licensing agreements. Assassin's Creed, I don't think it's coming to Moto. Doctor Who didn't come to Moto. Warhammer didn't come to Moto. So we're getting like Commander Clash was looking less and less like the normal Commander meta just because Moto didn't have all the cards. And Moto's been working on that, and it's gotten better. Like some Archaeomancer's map was a big card that was missing for a long time, and they added that more recently. So they are like trying to add in as much stuff as possible. But that was another part of it. Plus, I think that the way most people play Commander is in paper. So it's kind of familiarity too, right? Like if you're used to playing Commander with your friends in paper and you see Moto for the first time and you've just never seen it before, it just looks different than what you're used to. When paper just gives you that, that familiar, warm feeling. Oh, that's right. Warhammer did after Warhammer wasn't on there when we made the decision to switch to doing paper for Commander Clash, but it was later added. So I will definitely I will give Daybreak a huge amount of praise. They have done so well since taking over Moto. Like I'm blown away, like just how much more they have done with it than Wizards was doing towards the end. And this was something when Daybreak actually took over Moto, I heard people saying like, this is where games go to die. Like, it's going to be a bad thing for Moto. Oh God, double one perseveration. What did Spike do? Spike, why? One perseveration. We're playing Modern. This card. Do you think Arena will eventually support Commander Brawl format? It looks like it might, with some cards hinting at it. So a 4-player format, is that what you're wondering? I think they want to. I think they would like to. I don't know if they have the ability to. I know they want to because they've talked about how what do we take here? Kozilek's Command? We have plenty of lands. Yeah, let's just take the command, I think. We'll take the command. We're not going to show our opponent the Ugin's Labyrinth. We'll just play a Prismatic Vesta. Pass the turn. Next turn we can turn the Sphere into the Wumpus. So, yeah, that's the question. I fully believe there will be a place to play Commander/Brawl online. I know that they want that and are working on it. Whether it is MTGA, like version 2, or it is a new client, that's up for debate. They have mentioned, they're working on an update to Magic Arena, so maybe they just rework the entire thing. If you look at Magic Online, I think we're technically on V4 or 5 over the past 20 years. So in the history of Magic Online, every 5-ish years or so, there's usually a meaningful update, refreshing. So maybe that's what happens to Arena. Is there's Arena V2, which is redesigned in a way that can actually support multiplayer. I hope they do it on Arena just because I don't think people want to. I don't think people want to buy cards on Magic Online and buy cards on Magic Arena and then buy cards on Untitled Commander/Brawl digital client. Like, that's, you can't ask your fans to buy cards on 3 different digital clients. That's just absurd on its face. Like, no one, I mean, some people will do it. I'll probably end up doing it because of content, but that's like the least player friendly way to do it, right? That's like just horrible, like a horrible way of doing it. I've been watching some old videos. Did you try the Caves deck in Standard outside of the streamer event? Your opinion. Yes, I did play some Caves. So the Caves, I will say, I haven't played Caves recently. So when Lost Caverns of Ixalan came out in the fall, I played it during the streamer event. I played it more after, and it performed well. But since then, we've had multiple sets. We're almost at rotation. So I don't know how it lines up with the more... We ended up in this kind of combo-y meta with like Aftermath Analyst shenanigans going on and stuff like that. So I can't really vouch for how good it is in the current meta because I haven't played it in a few months, but it did work really well right after a release for a budget deck. Are we really just casting a Wumpus Aberration? Is that what our life has come to? Is that what... I mean, we make... Yeah, I mean... Actually, Thought Knot's probably just better, right? Thought Knot's smaller, but it gives us a Thought Seize. Let's Thought Knot. So wait, did Spike build this deck? And if Spike did, how did Spike do with this deck? Did he actually have success with it? I just saw it in Moto results, and I thought it was no, not invert polarity. Oh no, they do have invert. Oh, Flame of Venor. Okay, that's that. Wait, did they just draw in response to the Thought Knot? Okay, well that's nice. Making sure that they have a full hand for us to Thought Seize out of. Oh, it's the energy control deck. Smell Snare, don't care. Force of Negation, kinda care. Galvanic Discharges, obnoxious. So if we take Tune the Narrative, they have to double Galvanic Discharge to kill the Thought Knot. That seems pretty good. Yeah, let's just take the Tune the Narrative. As weird as that sounds. If they want to spend 2 removal spells to kill Thought Knot, we can deal with that. Really? Went 10-0 with... Wow. Wait, with Wumpus Aberration? With Wumpus Aberration, or that's what someone else added in, and I just happened to see it in the deck list. Well, that's... Wow. Okay, that's impressive. Get in with the Thought Knot. I mean, Spike is very good at Magic. Good brewer. Hit you down to 15. Play the land, and yeah, I mean, I guess we do some lumping. Here it comes. It's a 6/6. Can you stop it? Wump wump wump. Oh, I completely overlooked this card as a constructed card, but I mean, I guess a 6/6 trample for 4 is actually kind of big. It is actually kind of big. I don't know what it's doing in this art. Galvanic Discharge. Yeah, they are going to have to spend 2 removal spells on it, and they're still facing down the Wump. Oh, about it. Yeah, no Reality Smasher in this deck list. Alright, so opponent gets to draw their card, kills our Thought Knot. So we know they have a Force in hand, right? They have a Force and a Spell Snare. And 2 unknown cards. Opponent, Steam Vents, tapped. A Galvanic Discharge can't get the Wump Wump. He be wumping. Siege Rhino, all grown up. I'm actually disappointed that they didn't print a Phyrexian or Eldrazi Siege Rhino. They called back to Hunting Wumpus or whatever, but not to Siege Rhino. Not to Siege Rhino. Well, let's do a little wumping. Wump wump. Maybe I love this card. Maybe Wumpus Aberration is actually my new favorite card. Hit ya. Down to 8. And then we'll play Eldrazi Temple. And we will tap some mana. Guess what, opponent? Guess what? Oh, we gotta tap green. Alright, so let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, and tap this for Wump Wump. Number 2. Number 2, Bearded Crowd. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big skip cheer for you. Thank you. Crack it. Forest. 1, 2, 3, 6. And can you beat the Wumps? Can you beat the Wumps, opponent? I don't think they can beat the Wumps. I don't know if they can beat opponent. Has to Etwara a Wump. They're so afraid of the 6/6. They go down a land and spend 4 mana to bounce a Wump back to our hand temporarily. We're in the Wump meta now. The Wump meta is here. So much for Ruby Storm and Nadu. It's the Wump meta. Opponent gets in with Tamiyo. Flame of Inor off the top to get this. Wow, that was a really good draw for our opponent. Wow. Okay, so opponent they are doing a little high rolling. I will give them that. They are high rolling. Is it enough to stop the Wumpus? Opponent gonna tick up the Tamiyo. Passes. Ooh, that's so close to being good. Well, we will. Oh, what do we do? Do we go face? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we have to kill the Tamiyo is the question. Do we even care about the Tamiyo? So they have 4 Spell Snare, 2 unknown cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do some more Wumpin'. Run it back out. Play the Shifting Woodland. Go to combat. I mean, I think we just go face. Like, what does the Tamiyo do? It ticks down. It ticks down to get back Flame of Inor. Actually, maybe we do have to kill Tamiyo. Yeah, let's kill Tamiyo. Awkward, but I think we got to do it. Opponent. Pump fakes. Loses Tamiyo. Can you beat the Wumps? Can you beat the Wumps? I just think it's so absurd that we're playing Wumpus Aberration. I love it. Opponent. Gonna crack the clue to draw a card. Yeah, it's lethal either way. And Tamiyo, like, Tamiyo getting back Flame of Inor seems like an issue. Or, like, Galvanic Discharge. Like, we don't want to let Tamiyo just get back something that can kill a Wump, because the Wumps are going to kill him. I mean, is it just... I actually got to look at this. So, is it the best, like, the biggest, highest power green 4-drop? Or is it an Eldrazi thing? Like, is it the creature type that is making this into a quote-unquote playable card, or is it the fact that it works with Eldrazi Temple? Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with working with Eldrazi Temple. It's the reason a lot of Eldrazi see play. I'm actually curious, though. Like, if Eldrazi Temple wasn't a concern and you could play anything... This can't be right. Oh, let me see. So 6 power 4-drops in green in modern. Are there... Oh, Colossal Rattleworm. But that's... I mean, Colossal Rattleworm's actually very good. Very good. I don't know if it's quite modern good, because you got to play Deserts, I guess, to fully power it up. But opponent is going to pass. Well, we are going to Kozilek's Command, make some spawns, scry draw. This just makes our opponent tap their mana, essentially. If they want to force it, they can't do it for free during their turn. Kozilek's Command. And it gets another card type in the graveyard for Shifting Woodlands if they don't force it. If they do force it, they use up half their mana, and then they get wumped. Wow, they let it go. I'm surprised. Bottom and... Yeah, bottom and Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep another Kozilek's Command. Bottom and top. Untap. Another 6. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting Woodlands. Becomes a 6. Shifting Woodlands becomes a 6. Go to combat. All right, opponent. Come on. Just die peacefully. It's fine. It's fine. Opponent scoops it up and whump. Whump whump. We whumped him. I think Spike has said it's ferocious and trample and required 1 green. I'm just curious. I mean, it just beat our opponent down. It might actually just be the biggest, though, when you come to think of it. Like, so it's calling back to hunted Wumpus, but you can get around the downside, and it has trample. Also, what is... Wait, what is that creature? What is a Wumpus? Now I need to know. I never really realized what this art was. What in the world is going on with this art? What? It's like what did they do to that poor elephant? It's like an elephant body. That's very much elephant body, and then. What is that face though? It's like a huge scary mouse face or something. It's like furry and tusky and AI. It's AI, yes. Brian Snoddy with AI back in 1994. Doesn't it? It looks like someone took an elephant art. Also, is that an arrow in its back? Oh, it's hunted. I see. They're hunting the Wumpus. Just one can feed a dozen people for a month. Wait, so chat. A serious question. Are Wumpuses real? Are they real? Have I just never heard of these? Are there actual Wumpuses in the world? If not, I'm a little disappointed. I mean, so before you say it's not real, obviously, Seth, I didn't realize that Panharmonicons were real things at first, and they're very much real things. And then I actually want one, but they're huge apparently and won't fit in my house. So I can't get a Panharmonicon, but I could get a Wumpus. Your mom is a Wumpus? Your mom was a Wumpus. The plural is Wumpy. Chalice of the Void actually probably insane against our opponent's deck. How good is Fanatic Aronas? Do we even care about Fanatic Aronas? What if we play only 3 drops? What if we just embrace the dark side of having no mana curve? We do care about Fnatic. It actually does things and stuff. I didn't think this was a spike list because I thought Spike didn't like Drowner of Truth. Okay. You know what? We're going to go no Fnatic. This is probably a horrible idea. Let's try it, though. I just want to chalice them. How come your stream says Ruby Storm and yet you're playing Eldrazi? I was lied to. Now you lose all your Blood Moon privileges and Panharmonicon privileges. We started where we said we would. Oh, God. If we draw a 7, we can turn 1 Trinisphere on the... Oh, my goodness. I mean, we're going to keep this. We need to draw something to... We need to draw something to let us exile to this Ugin's Labyrinth. How good is 6? Is 6 any good? What about Sowing Micers? What are we exiling here? Not Trinisphere. Oh, we can't exile the Wump after last game. Last game, the Wump just ran wild. But Microspawn seems really good, and it has a cast trigger. Yeah, it's probably Wumpus. I'm sorry, buddy. I've grown to love and respect the Wumpus. Feel bad exiling it to Gemstone Cap. Yes, Magic Gods. All right, opponent. let's play the do you have a spell pierce or a force game real quick. Let's do a spell pierce check, a force check, Trinisphere, turn 1. Consign to memory. Literally cheating. All right, pass the turn. Well, that wasn't nice. Opponent, Spireblow of Canale. And passes. Trinisphere, more Trinispheres. Another Gemstone Caverns, that's the worst draw. Well, we will play a 6. I mean, I guess we can discard it to 6 at some point, maybe. If 6 remains alive. And I'm surprised that 6 doesn't say ETB or attacks. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's only an attack trigger. That seems like the kind of thing that they would do. That they're doing more and more. Opponent, tune the narrative to make some energy so they can galvanic discharge our sticks like a jerk. All right, sure. Well, now we're doing nothing. Kind of nothing. We need more card types. Oh, man. Oh, come on. Eldrazi Temple for this microspawn. Ooh, Chalice of the Void. Okay. Chalice of the Void on 1 seems pretty good. Another quick counter check here. Opponent. Really? Another consign? Counterspell? Alright, so opponent definitely has a lot of counters. Many counters. Opponent. Pass it. So a microspawn. Well, I mean, this is kind of awkward, but we're going to run it out. We're going to run out this one without the kicker. Because then that means we can run out the next one with the kicker. What even is this hand our opponent kept? All right. Opponent, consign to memory number 2. Well, we will pass the turn. Oh, man, we really need to win this game after the amount of counters our opponent has cast on us. Opponent, tune the narrative. Trying to find a land. Not finding a land. Oh, the humanity. Opponent passes. Eldrazi Temple, please. Trinisphere. All right, let's try this one more time. I don't believe they're playing Spell Pierce, right? We don't actually have to worry about Spell Pierce. They can't be. Oh. The question is, do we need to legend rule ourselves with this Gemstone Caverns? We lose this gemstone that makes green mana. But then we can pay for a Spell Pierce. I think we're going to do it. I mean, it can... Spell Pierce can stop us from resolving our Trinisphere, right? I kind of want to... A Trinisphere against an opponent stuck on 2 mana is actually kind of insane. You need the second green for Woodlands. We haven't even turned it on. There's actually... The other upside to Legend ruling is it's going to put a land in the graveyard to get us closer to Woodlands. And then Micro Spawn can possibly get us the... Yeah, we're going to do it. Gemstone Caverns. Legend rule. Trinisphere. Resolves. Okay, everything costs 3. Opponent. Did you draw a land? No. Okay. Eldrazi Temple. Eldrazi Temple. Kozilek's Command. Okay, that's very good. So we're just going to do this now while your opponent can't do anything. Scry draw. Make some spawns. And our opponent can't stop it because guess what? They don't have the mana to pay for Trinisphere. Kozilek's Command main phase just in case. Labyrinth. Oh wait, this works, right? That's gonna work either way. Bottom and top. We will keep a land. Play the Prismatic Vesta. Pass the turn. Opponent. If you gotta draw land here, the game ends. The game will be... Oh, they draw land. So the game is not completely over yet because our opponent can theoretically, perhaps, maybe, maybe cast a spell to stop the Sowing Microspawn from exiling a land. We will grab a forest. Untap. Ooh, Thon-Nazir. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's Thought Knot. Take a peek. Opponent they have another counter. I love playing prison decks. That's one of the best things about Modern Horizon 3 being back, is the ability to actually lock people out of Magic again. I was playing a game with Goblin and Archomancer on Moto, but he wasn't reducing the mana cost of my green or red spells. Do you know of any bugs? I do not know of any. Has anyone else heard of a... Oh, no. Well, okay, at least they lost the flip. Well, that was actually kind of scary. Well, we will pass the turn. Opponent just died. Wait, you know what the problem is? We haven't drawn a Wump. We're up 1-0 in this match. It tells you in the chat, but it's not in a place that is obvious on it's behind where the Twitch chat is where the Moto chat is. I can show you. The Twitch chat, yeah, the Moto chat's over here, which has all the info in it, but it's usually covered by the Twitch chat on the stream. Yeah, we might have to sack for 0 to send a message next turn. Ooh, Drowner of Truth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a Microspawn with Kicker. Exile your land. Search for a land. Gonna be hard to replicate. Opponent. Gonna be hard to replicate. Because there's a Trinisphere. Okay, they're gonna Flame of Anor to kill the Trinisphere. Well, we're gonna blow up your land while also grabbing a Bonder's Enclave. And get a 3/3 and send a message with the spawn. Hit ya for 0. Anyone have a list or know the list? Oh, let me. Yeah. I forgot to update it. Hang on. I do have the deck list. Opponent. Passing. We will pass the. Well, get and hit ya. Are we just gonna spend our turn turning Shifting Woodlands into Trinisphere? Is that how we're supposed to play this? I kind of think that's how we're supposed to play it. Very, very awkward, but... So, upkeep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting Woodlands is going to shift into a Trinisphere, just in case our opponent was thinking of playing any spells this turn. Were you thinking of playing Magic, opponent? He even stays with the lands. Unfortunately. Yeah, there's the deck list. Oh, there's another 6. That is another 6. Well, let's play this Drowner of Truth as a land. Go to combat. Hit you with a Myco spawn. Oh, you're right. It doesn't work when it's tapped. We need another colored mana. I guess it didn't matter anyway. All right, so let's just pass. Let me read the wording on this. Becomes a copy of another target permanent card in your graveyard until end of turn. So, how does this work if you activate it on the end step, chat? Does anyone know for sure? Like, so if I turn this into something on my end step, is it going to last through my turn? Like, if you threw the Breach on your opponent's end step, the creature sacks on your end step, and you can attack for a turn. It doesn't last, though? Okay. I kind of thought that's how it would work, unfortunately. Well, that's just Kozilek's command. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If our opponent wants to counter it, at least it's going to eat into their mana. Actually, this is kind of silly, right? Because they're discarding the hand size? Do we really want to cast into an opponent who's discarding the hand size? You know they're going to counter. All right, yeah, discard the hand size. That's fine. We're not even gonna bother about it. Well, now I think we definitely go back on the turn into a Trinisphere plan now that we have 2 green mana to not have it be tapped. Oh god. Access our artifact 1, yeah, enchantment or land. 2, 3, new plan. 4, 5. This is almost like a land destruction deck, isn't it? This might be the concession. World Breaker, snipe your island, and opponent scoops it up. And well, I gotta say, this deck's actually kind of sweet. This is actually kind of super really sweet. It played a lot more Ponza-y and Prison-y than it looked. I saw it and was like, haha, Hunted Wumpus, or Wumpus Aberration. But it actually played kind of like this weird prison deck between Sowing Microspawn and Trinisphere, where it's kind of locking people out of the game. Yeah, that was actually super, super, super fun. You can have 6 in play when you get to discard a land, cast Trinisphere from the graveyard. Yeah. That is true. We just didn't really get to the position of having a land. But yeah, 6 being able to retrace a Trinisphere from the graveyard or a Chalice seems pretty nice. Well, we're gonna have to play more of this deck. Any plans for shifting Woodlands Omniscience deck? It's on there's so many things. Hey, Mr. Zakara, how is everything over in the Ukraine? I haven't seen you in a minute. Is everything going all right with you? Good to see you, by the way. Yeah, it's on my list. Omniscience, Shifting Woodlands is on. There's just so much stuff in this set that I want to do. So we're gonna have a good summer. We're gonna have a good summer between this and then Burrow, based on the couple of weeks we saw earlier. Boy, that set's looking like it's gonna be good. I think I still remember back in Chicago at the Magic Con. That was the one where Mark Rosewater was like, I think Burrow is going to be the set of the year. Like, I think that's the one that people are going to be really hyped about. Just like that's going to be the one. And then the community's been like getting more and more hyped, and now these leaks. So I'm still an MH3 guy. Like MH3, that's my kind of set. So that's my set of the year. But I'm really high on Burrow as well, and we're going to be kicking off spoiler season for that in just a couple of weeks somehow. So how are you going to Storm if everyone is playing Trinisphere? Yeah, Trinisphere is a really good answer to Storm. I've been more on the Trinisphere side than the Storm side, but did I miss the Moto code giveaway? So, I talked about it, but then I didn't actually give any codes away. I got you on the way out the door here. Let me see how I do this. Boom. There you go, Fat Master. I got you. I got you with a giveaway. Anyway, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. Only one Eldrazi game. Maybe we'll play some more next time. But I gotta go get a Bearby. It's Bearby time. What's a Moto code? So, Moto, thanks to Daybreak Games, who runs Moto and hooked me up with this account to play on. They're giving away some codes for 120 play points. 120 play points, which is the amount of play points. If you go to like a draft and you want to do a draft, it either costs tickets, which are like the real money currency, or play points, which are like the fake money currency. So if you want to do like a Modern Horizons 3 draft or whatever, you can use these playmats to jump into an event. You can jump into a Modern League or whatever. So basically it's a code that will give you some play points on Magic Online. Swing for 0. Were you wanting one? Hang on, I got you. Anyone else? I got a couple more to give away. Before we sign off for today. So if you want a Moto code and you play please, if you don't play Moto, don't do it because someone else will use it. But there's only a couple left. I'll try to hand them out here. Thanks for asking. It's not easy here. Our office got destroyed by a missile attack in the beginning of June. Keep up the good work. Well, Mr. Zakara, I hope things take a turn for the better. I'm sorry. It's got to be super, super tough. I can't even imagine, as someone who lives here in the U.S. and has never went through that, how tough it's got to be. So, let me see. Couple more codes. I will definitely tell Beard CC hi. I got you. Couple more. I'm just handing them out in whispers. So if you get a code from me in your whisper, all you got to do is you go to the store tab, and then there's a enter promo code to redeem your promo code at the bottom of the store tab on Moto if you've never done it before. Also, shout out to Daybreak Games for hooking me up with these codes. There'll be more. If you didn't get one this time, I think this is a monthly thing and it's almost the end of the month, so I should have more I think by next stream I should have more to give away. So if you didn't get one this time, this is the last one that's going to Marky Malicious here. If you didn't get one this time, remind me next stream and hopefully I'll have another batch to give away. So anyway, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. Reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube. This we can find all the old streams. Normal YouTube. Tons of content coming out on there. Lots of Modern Horizon 3 stuff. One more shout out to our sponsor, Card Kingdom. If you need some magic cards, you can get them at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. And thanks to Daybreak for hooking us up with the codes. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Seriously, y'all are amazing. I love y'all. I know there's so many things you could be doing this afternoon. Thanks for hanging out, having fun. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'll be back next Tuesday. Check out the YouTube in between. Until then, everyone, be awesome. I love you. And I will talk to you soon.